Anthony Taylor here live in the Upper Cumberland Weather Center. I've got the glasses on because I've made the decision to just jump into long-form coverage right now. Despite the fact we have no warnings in effect, these storms are really behaving so far, which is wonderful, but that doesn't mean this will remain the case through the night. But I know a lot of y'all have storm anxiety and would really like just to have a live report as these storms roll through the night. I'm already up for the long haul. I've already got my big cup of coffee here ready to go. It's good stuff. So we're just going to go ahead and go live and just remain live until the severe threat is pretty much over with. So again, who knows what to expect over the next few hours, but let's just go ahead and buckle in and talk through it. And I think that's really the best thing we can do right now. Again, I know a lot of people have storm anxiety and would like to hear me and like for me to walk y'all through these storms through the nighttime hours, again, especially with no warnings right now. Of course, there's no coverage anywhere for this. So let's just go straight into it right now. Why not? So again, here's your radar picture. If you're in Macon County, if you're in Clay County, storming right now, pretty good. You know, you got some gusty winds blowing through, some heavy rain, a little bit of lightning. But the good news for you is your severe weather threat is going to come to an end very soon. I think within the next half hour or so, we can actually give y'all an all clear. I mean, how about that? If you're farther south and east, I can't say the same for you. Now, what we're watching for is to see if this line strengthens any as it continues to move farther south and east. That could very well happen. We are seeing some strengthening back to the west towards Nashville. No warnings with that right now, but again, overall, we have a long night ahead of us, and that's why, again, we're jumping on with coverage now. And again, we could make it through the night without a single warning being issued. How wonderful would that be? I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I do personally think we'll probably have a couple of warnings at least issued at some point. Models have not handled this system very well. Really none of the activity we've had today has it handled well. The models completely, at least the HRRR, the one we really rely upon, just was all over the place with the afternoon hours, and I think had a big miss, I think, with the afternoon activity that we saw roll through. And it's really wanted to depict this menacing line of storms moving through during the overnight hours. And it is moving through. All the models have pointed towards this, but we're just not seeing that severity like the models were indicating. That doesn't mean these won't pulse up and become severe. It just means as of right now, we're just not seeing it. But last few radar scans does look like these storms are trying to tick up a little bit. So again, we're just going to have to really watch closely as these storms roll through. And I just looked down at the comments again. I want to apologize to a commenter earlier on our stream, Ashley. I had looked down at a comment and I mistook it. It's easy to get mixed up in real time with what's going on in the comments. There were other comments coming through apparently I didn't see, so no harm, no foul there. I apologize for calling it out. So again, to Ashley, again, just want to, I did see your comment there, and again, I apologize for calling that out because again, a lot of people, we don't really deal with trolls very often. I'm very fortunate because other people do. That is one wonderful thing I've not really had to deal with here. So when we do see it, it's not fun to deal with, but I think that's not what that was, and again, I'll absolutely step in and apologize for that. But anyway, getting back to the weather, again, of course, we cover these 14 counties, northeastern, middle Tennessee, this being the Upper Cumberland region, and we have, again, this line of storms moving in right now. It's pretty loud out there if you're in Lafayette, if you're in Salina, Hartsville getting in on this too, some gusty winds moving in now. Weather Service has put out an advisory for this activity for Gainesboro, Livingston, Byrdstown, Salina, set to expire in about 9 minutes. Don't know if they'll reissue that farther south, but they're getting out ahead of that, mentioning the possibility of winds of around 50 miles per hour possible with this storm. So again, there is an advisory for this, not severe warned. Farther south and east, again, not much going on right now. We're just awaiting this line to roll through. Zooming out on the radar image, again, this is pretty much it right now. We are going to watch these little cells popping up here in Murray County, down into Lawrence County. These aren't severe, but any renegade storms that pop up like this could become strong quickly. And I think especially for our southern area, south of I-40, we're really going to have to watch for that kind of activity Y'all didn't have the earlier day storms roll through. Y'all were pretty much dry for the most part. Didn't have much activity down that way. So I think what may have happened for our northern areas, and again, models did not pick up on this at all, but the earlier day activity may have actually helped to stabilize the atmosphere or keep it stable just enough so that these storms rolling through just aren't quite reaching severe levels, which is great. They're still strong, still some wind with them, still some lightning, a lot of heavy rain, but they're not reaching those severe levels that we had feared. But that doesn't mean this will continue to remain the case. As they dip farther south, they could encounter a more unstable environment, and it could pulse up and become severe. Again, we're seeing some strengthening back to the west as well. So again, it's going to be a long night. I know a lot of y'all are staying up for these, and that's why I'm going to stay live with y'all as these storms continue to move south and east. Now, since we have no active warnings, we can talk about other things while we're live. Again, I'm really just here to provide a calming voice as these roll south and east. So you may see me pause a couple of times just to look at comments, or we may talk about other things. We may talk about our new studio, as long as we don't have any warnings in effect. Just because, again, right now at the moment we're looking pretty good. So let's see. So I'm gonna look at some comments now. Again, a lot of y'all watching right now. Again, we have no active warnings here in our immediate viewing area, which is great. We've not seen any warnings yet with this activity here in the Upper Cumberland. This same line of storms, though, was very intense up in Kentucky. A few hours ago, we had one tornado warning storm. It produced a tornado, a long track tornado across far western parts of Kentucky. Thankfully, we're not dealing with that here right now. But again, this is the same complex of storms that has been responsible for a lot of tornadic activity across Missouri and parts of western Kentucky. It's a very intense line of storms. Even though we don't have any severe warnings in effect along this line here in Tennessee, still very intense and could strengthen as these storms move farther south and east. So that's why we're on live covering these. Again, no warnings. Normally I would not be live right now, and we could make it over the next hour or so without any warnings being issued. That is entirely possible. I just want to be here providing y'all just with some live coverage, because I know a lot of y'all are having storm anxiety. I just want to walk y'all through these. Some of y'all, apparently, according to some of y'all are still without power from the storms we had earlier today as well. So, of course, that's not a good situation. In fact, we can pull up power outages. Not everything is tracked, but we can take a look at that, though, to see who may still be without power. It does look like we do still have some power outages. So, Clay County, not seeing any here, but there's maybe some that aren't tracked. Pickett County, I think this advisory is overriding this. So, let me turn off the advisory, and that way we can talk about those power outages. So I'm going to turn off alerts temporarily. We can talk about power outages. So Pickett County, looks like there are still at least 271 of you without power right now. Fentress County, another 367 without power. At this time, that's all I'm seeing, but there could be some customers that aren't tracked. So again, I want to point that out too. So there could be some individual situations with people without power, but again, still dealing with some power outages, though, in some areas from the earlier storms we had today, which, of course, is concerning with severe weather moving in. Now, we did just have a new advisory issued by the Weather Service for our central and northeastern counties. Includes Cookville, Jamestown, Livingston, Gainesboro. Again, this is a step below a warning, so your alerts app, your weather radio will not go off for this. It's just this used to be called significant weather advisories. But the Weather Service does mention the potential for wind gusts in excess of 50 miles per hour, and I believe that said pea-size hail with this storm complex as it continues to move towards the southeast at about 50 miles per hour. So these storms are moving. Not the fastest moving storms we've ever seen, but they are moving along. We'll do a storm track on these. We'll do this at 50 miles per hour and give you some rough ETAs. Just, again, bear in mind, these are ETAs. I'll go full screen with this so y'all can see these a little bit better. We'll go through here. Holly Springs at 12:18. Dodson Branch at 12:22. If we have anyone in the Eastern time zone watching this, these are Central times. Livingston at 12:23. Okay, the Weather Service is going with a severe thunderstorm warning for this. So that'll be popping up here in a second. New severe thunderstorm warning for Fentress, Overton, and Pickett counties for this segment of storm. Let's continue to go through these ETAs real quick, then we'll jump over to the warning. Gainesboro at 12:24, Independence at 12:25, Ozone at 12:27, Center Grove at 12:28, Taylor's Crossroads at 12:29, Antioch at 12:29, Allgood at 12:31, Alpine 12:30, Allred at 12:33, Gladys at 12:34, Cookville 12:35, Baxter at 12:37. I think these might be a little fast, but these will give you some pretty good little heads up anyway. Kentville 12:38. Again, I think this is a little bit slow for you in Kentville, as these storms are just about to you there. Boma at 12:40, Moodyville at 12:40, Chestnut Mountain 12:41, Helena at 12:43, Elmwood 12:43, Carthage at 12:45, South Carthage 12:47, Tanglewood 12:47. Again, those ETAs may be a little slow. Jamestown 12:49, Bowman at 12:55. I'm just calling out a few random communities here. Sunbright at 1:08, which I believe that's actually in Morgan County, so that would actually be 2:08 a.m. for y'all. So again, those are just some rough ETAs for our northern half. So really, these storms will be moving in over the next hour or so, or within the next hour if you're from Cookville, Clark Range, Jamestown, points north and west from there. But here's your severe thunderstorm warning. Your weather radios are going off for this. Your weather alert apps are going off for this. It doesn't look much on the reflectivity view. We're mainly concerned about the winds with this. Again, damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour are the main concern with this storm. Again, moving through Byrdstown, just north of Livingston. And again, this is moving generally towards the east at about 55 miles per hour. So again, damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour are possible with this storm. So yeah, I told you we probably get some warnings tonight, and this is our first one with this round of storms. May not be our last warning either. So again, we're really just going to have to just stick with it. We are jumping into continuous coverage with these storms. Even if we have no warnings in effect, we will stay live until the severe weather threat has ended. I'm making that commitment now just because I know a lot of you have storm anxiety. And we can find other things to talk about too if we get to a point where there are no warnings. Let's go to the velocity view on this. Help us pick out where the strongest winds are with this storm. And again, let's go back to that. So your strongest winds are going to be located between Byrdstown, down towards Allens, up into Independence, Oakley, Oak Hill. And again, these are moving towards the east. So Livingston, these winds will be on you here pretty soon. Could just barely clip you. The strongest may go north and east of you. But Eastport, Double Top, Squirrel Flat, of course, Jamestown, again, all this will be to you within the next 10 to 15 minutes or so. If we go back to our reflectivity, again, you can see the leading edge of this rain. So, again, right in here is where your strongest winds are very likely located, near Moodyville. And again, moving towards the east, again, towards Jamestown, Pine Haven, Sharp Place, Squirrel Flat, again, in a matter of minutes. So, again, you want to be indoors right now, which I know most of you probably are indoors already, away from windows until this threat passes. We're not seeing anything tornadic with this. It's just a straight line wind threat. Could be some pea-sized hail mixed in. The rain may be a bit heavier than what radar is showing here. The radar beam is several, it's good, 100 miles or so away in Nashville, 75 miles anyway. So we're looking several thousand feet up in the atmosphere here. So closer to the surface, this rain may be heavier than what reflectivity is showing. But again, right now, this is over top of Byrdstown. Strongest winds between Midway and Moodyville, Cedar Grove, and again, this is moving east. So Pall Mall, Jamestown, again, y'all are in the path of that. Again, straight line wind threat with that. Farther west, activity is beginning to ramp up a bit with this line. Again, this is something we were definitely going to be watching for as this line continues to move south and east. So northern Smith County over into Trousdale County, northwestern Jackson County. None of this is severe right now, but we'll definitely be watching it as the reflectivity is showing this to be strengthening. So again, we could potentially get a warning out of this if that strengthening trend continues as these storms dip farther south and east. I'm not really surprised by that. It is something I did anticipate would happen, again, just with the environment that we're in. We're also going to have to watch for these cells that are developing to our southwest. This one in southern Murray County. This will be moving towards the northeast generally. So if that cell were to ramp up, there's plenty of energy for it to work with. There's no competing storms for that storm that could potentially rob it of any energy. So that could become a supercell. And we'll definitely have to watch that. It could start spinning. I'm not saying it will. I'm just saying we'll have to watch activity like that, though, as it moves towards the northeast out ahead of this main line. So areas like McMinnville, Spencer, Sparta, Crossville, Smithville even, we'll be watching very closely for that kind of activity. I'm not saying it'll happen. I'm just saying it's something we'll have to keep an eye on. Activity like that, though, is what may present a tornado threat, though, if that threat decides to present itself. The main line itself, main concern here is going to be damaging straight line winds if we see any further strengthening. Again, we have some bowing happening here, far northeastern parts of the region here. And again, that is the reason for the severe thunderstorm warning that you see here on your screen. So again, severe thunderstorm warning continues until 12:45 a.m. Central Time and includes the city of Jamestown. Jamestown, you have a tower cam there, so we'll take a look at it now. Probably won't see much. We'll probably see maybe some lightning flickering. Not seeing a whole lot of lightning being detected, though, in the area. So again, right now we're not going to see much from this view. I think we're looking south here generally. So again, not going to see a whole lot from that view right now. But just know we do have that camera there in Jamestown we can reference as these storms get closer to you. Farther west, we can go to Salina Tower Cam. Again, Salina, you're not in any warning right now, but it is raining heavily. Some gusty winds in Salina right now. Again, so we'll take a look at that tower cam. This may take a moment to load the current image. This is about an hour old. Well, okay, Salina may be down at the moment, so never mind. We won't look at the Salina Tower cam. Technology sometimes it's great, and then sometimes it just wants to do its own thing. But nothing concerning in Salina right now. Just a lot of heavy rain up your way, and again that extends into northern Jackson County, northern Smith County. Looks like we might have a little hail core beginning to form here in southern Crossville County. A sign this storm may be trying to strengthen a little bit. That's moving towards the south and east. So Carthage, Rome, Rock City, those areas. Again, we'll have to watch that in case that strengthens any further and begins to present more of a hail threat for y'all. I will say this, though. Farther north, Lafayette, Red Bull, and Springs, I'm not giving you an all clear just yet, but I think we can here pretty soon. So y'all are actually going to make it through the night, maybe without any severe weather worries. I'm not ready to give y'all the all clear just yet, but it looks like the severe threat is definitely shifting south of you now. So good news for y'all. Hold on another maybe 30 minutes or so, and I can probably give y'all an all clear up that way. Now, that being said, y'all dealt with severe weather earlier today, so y'all have already had your share of it, more than your fair share of it. So if we can get these storms out of there without any severe weather worries, I know a lot of y'all are going to be very, very thankful for that. We even had a tornado warning earlier today for northern Macon County. So again, I know y'all are ready to get this activity out of here, and y'all can go to bed soon. Charleston County, again, strengthening storm here, strengthening across northern Smith County. It's just arrived to me. I can hear the thunder clapping outside. Rain will be picking up here soon. It's this area here over into Gainsborough we're going to be watching for potential strengthening as this line continues to dip farther south and east. So again, no one is out of the woods yet, especially the farther south and east you are from Carthage, Cookville, Clark Range, Sparta, Smithville, Crossville. We still have a long night to go potentially as we continue to track these storms farther south and east. Again, we have an active severe thunderstorm warning right now for a damaging straight line wind threat. And again, this is for, at this point, I think mostly northwestern Fentress County, far eastern Pickett County, where you see this bowing segment here, I think is where your strongest winds are currently located, near Pall Mall and Cedar Grove, and that will soon be pushing into Jamestown in a matter of moments. So within a few minutes to Jamestown, your winds are really going to pick up, with damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour possible for you, and across areas of all across northern and central Fentress County. So again, just a heads up, I know we still have some power outages we're dealing with in this area from the earlier storms. We may see some additional power outages from this storm if these winds do in fact reach severe level. So I was just consulting with the Weather Service chat. Don't see anything new that they're reporting with this activity. Taking a look at the velocity, just looking for any signs of rotation along this line. Not seeing any right now. That's always a good sign. but that is something we'll be watching for as well. Again, we could get a quick spin up anywhere along this line. That's not out of the realm of possibility either. These storms are definitely beginning to strengthen again. I did mention this was possible. So from southern Trousdale County, eastern Trousdale County, the northern Smith County, up to northwestern Jackson County, this is probably going to be our next area of interest here, as we are seeing some strengthening here with this storm. So again, we'll have to watch areas downstream from that. Carthage, Gainsboro, farther south towards Gordonsville, Baxter, Cookville. Again, this isn't severe right now. It's just an area of interest that we're going to have to watch, though, in case it becomes severe and presents a straight line damaging wind threat. Again, our imminent concern right now, again, is with this severe thunderstorm warning. You can see the Morristown Weather Service office is getting out ahead of this. They've issued a new severe thunderstorm warning out that way as well for northern Morgan and most of Scott County. So if anyone's watching out that way, again, you are now in this severe thunderstorm warning. Interestingly enough, they've added the tornado possible tag with this warning that our Weather Service office did not add. So again, just a conflicting difference in opinion there. But again, they're just getting out ahead of this as it moves east in case it strengthens any. So again, all the areas you see in the yellow polygons are under a severe thunderstorm warning. Again, and right now, you know, we have the one warning in effect. We have a couple of advisories, but you know, it's a pretty relaxed situation overall in terms of we don't have a bunch of warnings going on. We don't have anything tornadic at the moment. So I can jump over to comments too. Again, I'm just one person here. This is a free service we provide. And when I say we, I just mean me. I do this part-time, I guess you could say, because I do have a full-time job that's not this. I have a wife and a baby. They're in there asleep. So again, that's our situation here. But I will jump over to some comments now in case you'll have any questions. I'll try my best to answer those right now. Again, it looks like there's some different conversations going on in the comments. Apparently there's some debate going on YouTube, apparently. Okay, so that may be people asking about different areas we don't cover. So just so y'all know, I wish I had a map up right here. We cover 14 counties comprising the Upper Cumberland region of Middle Tennessee. And I'm going to do my best to draw an outline around those here so y'all can see our official viewing area counties. So we'll just draw this little outline here. It's not going to be the best line. But y'all can see these are the areas I cover. Again, I'm only one person. It's not even remotely possible for me to cover more areas than this. But this is our official viewing area right here as I scribble all over the map. Now I know on our warning and watch map there at the bottom of your screen, we do have additional areas to our west from Sumner, Wilson, Cannon, Rutherford County, and then farther east, Bledsoe, Ray, Roane, Morgan, Scott County are also included on that as well. Sometimes we will provide extended coverage to those areas in situations, particularly when we have tornado warnings. Sometimes I will provide extended coverage to those areas. I also have those counties listed just as additional information in case we have anybody in those areas watching, or for those in our immediate viewing area who want to know what's going on just outside our viewing area. So again, hopefully that clarifies that. Again, I'm not Ryan Hall. I'm not covering the whole nation. I don't know how he does that. I guess he's made it his full-time job. I'm trying to make this my full-time job, but I can't imagine trying to keep up with that much at one time. I'm local to this area. I live in Smith County. I just moved from Cookville, but I'm from Smith County. I've lived here my whole life, and you know, so I'm very familiar with our communities here, and this is where I'm setting up shop and where I will be. So again, severe thunderstorm warning continues for primarily central and northern Fentress County at this point, where your primary severe weather threat is at the moment. Again, we're watching this Boeing segment here. Could have straight line winds again extending from Alpine up into Pall Mall and soon to move into Jamestown here shortly. So again, that's why your severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 12:45 a.m. Farther west, we do have some strengthening storms along this line back into Hartsville. The defeated and Pleasant Shade areas in northern Smith County. Just praying my power doesn't go out from these lightning strikes we're getting. Up in the northwestern Jackson County and extending up into Clay County. So we'll have to watch this in case we have any further strengthening, as we could ultimately get a warning out of that. But right now, again, just a lot of heavy rain, some gusty winds embedded within this, but not seeing anything really beyond that at the moment. Again, our main concern at the moment is with this storm, again, rolling into northern Fentress County, where we have this severe thunderstorm warning in effect. The storm is moving pretty quickly at about 50 miles per hour towards the east. It's in Jamestown now. In fact, we can go to the Jamestown tower cam and take a look from Jamestown. There might be a little bit of a delay in getting the live video feed, but they will pop up here momentarily. So there we go. You can see the wind has definitely arrived in Jamestown. In fact, I'm going to pull this up over here so we can also look at the winds right now in Jamestown. Looks like we have had a gust in the last 5 minutes to 31 miles per hour. Right now we're sustained about 10 to 20 miles per hour. So winds are picking up a bit as this rolls into Jamestown. You can see the camera's being moved around right now. I believe that's Jackson County EMA controlling that right now. I do have control over this camera, but I'm going to leave it alone. I'll let them do their thing with that. But again, they're pointing it towards the west so we can see a better view of the storm as it moves in. Again, not seeing anything tornadic on radar with this. This is just mainly a straight line damaging wind threat with this storm. And again, winds are not quite to severe strength in Jamestown, but we are going to watch very closely as the strongest winds on the leading edge of this line move into Jamestown. So again, that's what we're looking at right now is our live view from Jamestown, again, as this severe storm rolls in. Again, severe thunderstorm warning in effect till 12:45 a.m. Central Time for central and northern Fentress County. If you're in northeastern, the weird look I gave was our radar. Let me switch back to that. Y'all can see we had a weird glitch happen with the radar there. I want to switch radar sites to Hopkinsville, and that actually won't give us our best view of that storm. So let's go to Morristown again as we're tracking the storm moving again into northern Fentress County. A lot of heavy rain extending back up into Byrdstown and across Pickett County, Cedar Grove. Again, and with this severe thunderstorm warning in effect, you want to be indoors right now. You probably are indoors. You might be in the bed watching this. Again, just stay put. Don't go outside trying to be a hero or anything. Again, just be safe as this moves through. I will say, if you're near a tree, like if your bedroom is located near a tree or something, you might want to get away from that. Just to be safe in case a tree falls on your house or something. We hope that doesn't happen. But again, we just want to point that out. The Weather Service has trimmed this warning back a little bit. Actually, let's go back to the Jamestown Tower Cam, because we just had a 43 mile per hour gust at this tower cam site. So winds are now picking up here in Jamestown. You can see the rain beginning to hit Jamestown right now, and those strong winds are now moving into Jamestown as we speak. Again, radar doesn't tell us much out this way, but we can definitely see a lot with our tower cam as this intense storm again moves into Jamestown. So again, we have had a gust at our tower cam site to 43 miles per hour. Still a little bit below severe strength, but again, the worst of the storm is still to move through. So we could see those winds pick up a little bit more with time. The storm continues to intensify. This line is intensifying still further west, so across Smith County, Jackson County, Clay County. Again, not severe, but you can probably hear the thunder as the storm is on top of me now. Just hoping we can get through this without losing power. That would be great. That won't be an issue at our new studio. We're going to have a generator set up. We're going to be ready to go in the event that we have a power outage. We'll be able to flip a switch and be able to stay on live with coverage. That's one really cool thing about the new studio facility. We'll talk about that here in a little while. If we get to a point where there's no warnings, we can talk more about the studio. Y'all can ask questions. I can show y'all some pictures and all that good stuff. But again, right now this is our only warning at the moment. Winds still sustained at about 25 to 30 miles per hour in Jamestown. And again, we're still looking at this live tower cam view in Jamestown, as this gives us a much better view, of course, than radar can. Not seeing anything tornadic with this, but this is still a very strong storm. Still haven't seen any gusts quite to severe strength. The threshold for a severe thunderstorm warning is 58 mile per hour winds. And we haven't quite gotten to that point yet, but we have gotten up to about 45, 46 miles per hour. So we'll see if these winds pick up any more as the storm blows into Jamestown. Let's go back to radar again. Again, we're taking more of a laid-back approach tonight because, again, we don't have a whole lot of warnings in effect. We just have the one at the moment for our viewing area, which is great news. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and say if you're in Lafayette and if you're in Red Bowling Springs or points north here in Macon County, if you're up in Hermitage Springs, far western Clay County, just these areas, I'm giving you an all clear. All clear for those areas. The severe weather threat has come to an end. So these areas I'm circling here, and only these areas, very small corner here, I'm going to give you an all clear for the rest of the night. I think your severe weather threat has ended. You still have a lot of rain still to come, though, so flash flooding threat has not ended yet. Flash flooding could become a pretty big concern over the next few hours with this round of heavy rain, with the heavy rains of earlier. So, again, that is still something we're going to have to watch out for. But in terms of severe weather, I'm feeling better right now about your severe weather threat. So, again, just those areas I circled there in Macon County into western Clay County, I'm giving you an all clear. No other area has the all clear right now. But we may be able to add some more areas to that, though, as we go forward in time. Again, we're just going ahead and launching into long-form coverage with these storms. Even if we get to a point where this warning expires and if we have no active warnings, we'll still stay live. Again, just getting you through these storms as they roll through. I know that a lot of y'all have storm anxiety, so we're just here to calm you and to walk you through these because, again, there's really nowhere else you're going to find live coverage right now on these, and that's fine. I mean, the TV stations have an obligation to go live for tornado warnings. Obviously, we have none in effect right now. And even the severe thunderstorm warnings, very rarely do they give those much attention, and it's just because of FCC rules, advertisers, that sort of thing. Again, it's just they don't deem it necessary, and it's not any particular station in particular. It's just, again, a thing that's just always been that way. But that's where we come into play. We can be live right now. We're not beholden. We have some wonderful sponsors on our live channel, and we're very thankful for them. We'd love to add more. The more sponsors we have, the more we can do. So if you have a local business, I'll go ahead and plug that right now. We would love to have your business because, again, the more we have, the more we can do, the closer I can get to actually being full-time with this, and eventually getting to a point where we can hire a full-time staff to work alongside me. So it's not just me working here doing this as I have for the last 12 years. Hard to believe. Again, if you're new here, we cover these 14 counties here, northeastern, middle Tennessee. I've already circled here on the map. I need to actually generate a map that I can show y'all on screen of our viewing area. The little map in the corner of your screen, that's your watch and warning map. The 14 counties in the middle, those are the ones that we cover. So the far western counties from Sumner, Wilson, Rutherford, Camden County, and the far eastern counties from Bledsoe, Ray, Roane, Morgan, and Scott. We don't, y'all aren't in our immediate viewing area, but we do sometimes provide extended coverage, especially like in tornado warning situations, and especially for storms that are going to impact us here in our immediate viewing area. So that's why we have y'all on the map down there. But all the 14 counties in between, Clay, Cumberland, DeKalb, Fentress, Jackson, Macon, Overton, Pickett, Putnam, Smith, Trousdale, Van Buren, Warren, and White counties are our official viewing area counties here. So any other areas we don't cover. Now, if you are farther southwest, if you're in the Tennessee Valley, there's Tennessee Valley Weather. Our friend Ben Luna, Fred Gossage, and their team do excellent work with Tennessee Valley Weather. They are basically us, but they cover the Tennessee Valley area, far southwestern Tennessee, or southwestern Middle Tennessee, North Alabama, northeastern Mississippi. So if you're down that way, you can follow them for updates. They are doing I know updates every 30 minutes or so on their live channel as well, and they will go into long form coverage for any warnings that may be issued down that way. East Tennessee, you now have East Tennessee Weather with Mike Witcher, so you can go search him out. So if any warnings are issued across eastern Tennessee, y'all can find him. So there's several of us popping up. Charlie Neese, if you remember him on Channel 5, he's now covering the Nashville metro area and surrounding counties, not in our immediate viewing area, but just west of us. You can go find him. Middle Tennessee Weather, he is now available as well So if any warnings are issued, I believe he'll probably be hopping on live for coverage as well. So again, there's several of us here doing this. Again, we've been doing this for a very long time here, covering the Upper Cumberland region for 7 years. That's hard to believe. 7 years we've been doing this for the entire Upper Cumberland. And just in general, I started covering just Smith County 12 years ago. Just unbelievable that so much time has passed since we began doing this. Technology has certainly come a long way since we began doing this all those years ago, too. But again, our focus right now is on the Upper Cumberland. So from Lafayette over to that strike of lightning was, I don't know if y'all heard that, but that was right outside our window. Goodness gracious. That was close. I'm just hoping our power doesn't go out. I don't want to have to deal with that and then have to make arrangements to go somewhere else. I just don't want to deal with that. So hopefully we can manage to make it through the night without any power outages here. That again, that's one good thing about our new studio facility. We will have that ability to switch over to generator power in the event we have a power failure. So that should no longer be an issue for us. It's never really been that much of a problem for us, but we've also just been really lucky on that front too. Okay, so y'all heard it. All right, I wasn't the only one. I guess y'all did hear that on the stream. And if you hear a little like buzzing sound in the background, I do have an air conditioner on in here. I've decided just to keep it on because it gets really hot in this room. Another reason I'm excited for the new studio space, because that also won't be an issue anymore. You know, it's a new house. We have central heat and air, but this room, because of all the computers, you can just see the massive array of computers behind me. All the monitors. There's computer towers off camera over there. It gets really hot in here. It can get up to 90 degrees in here if I don't have any air running. So that's why I have the air conditioner on, because it gets really hot in here. Still tracking this severe thunderstorm warning, though. For mostly Fentress County at this point. The Weather Service has not said anything new about it. They are keeping the warning going, set to expire in about 6 minutes, but the Weather Service office in Morristown has gotten out ahead of this. So Morgan, Scott counties, y'all are included in a new severe thunderstorm warning for this same complex of storms as it moves your way. Again, doesn't look much on the reflectivity. It's just our wind embedded within the storm that we're watching for. Looks like winds are still pretty elevated in Jamestown right now. In the last 5 minutes, we've had a 35-mile-per-hour wind gust. We can go back to our Jamestown tower cam. Not much to see right now, just some rain falling. And again, still some gusty winds at times in the Jamestown area. And of course, it's raining, as you can see. And again, still some occasional gusty winds there. But that severe wind threat will be shifting east of Fentress County here, probably in the next 10 minutes or so, into Scott County. Farther west, back towards Livingston, again, just some rain right now, maybe some embedded gusty winds with this. Still a pretty intense storm across Smith County right now. Of course, we have a lot of thunder, a lot of lightning with this, extending east into Jackson County. At the moment, this activity is sub-severe. It was beginning to intensify. Now I don't know that it's intensifying as much at this point. Still strong activity, still some heavy rain with this, and some potential for some gusty winds embedded within this as well. But again, it is below severe limits. We hope it stays that way, but again, my concern is as these storms move farther south and east, they'll be moving into an area that really did not see much activity earlier today. So again, we'll have to watch areas along and south of I-40, again, in case we see any strengthening with these storms. Again, models just did not have a good hold on this event at all, showing these storms being much more intense than they have ended up being so far. And I say so far because, again, we're not done yet. But still, though, we're going to continue to watch them, though. They could strengthen more as they move farther south and east. But good news, though, I am giving some all clears. So we already gave the all clear to Macon County. So all of Macon County has an all clear now. And I feel pretty good about giving an all clear to Clay County. Still some heavy shower activity. And it's going to rain for a while once this initial line passes you. But as far as severe weather goes, I'm giving y'all an all clear. So all of Macon County, all of Clay County, I'm giving an all clear. Trousdale County, Not yet, but pretty soon I'll give you an all clear as well, as this threat transitions farther south and east, again along this line. This is the main line we talked about. It's moving through a little sooner than we thought, which is not the worst thing. Hey, if we can get these storms on out of here, maybe we can salvage a little sleep tonight. Of course, the amount of coffee I'm drinking right now, we'll see about that. But again, not a bad thing. These are coming through sooner than anticipated. I'm not going to complain about that at all. Also not going to complain about the fact that they're not quite as intense as models had indicated. That doesn't mean they won't strengthen, though. We want to point that out. This storm here, across Ventures County, did strengthen and prompted a warning. So we could see some more of that over the next few hours. But I think once we get to about 3 to 4 a.m., these storms will be sliding south and east of our viewing area, and our severe weather threat will be completely over with at that point. Of course, Carthage, Gainesboro, Livingston, Jamestown is on top of you right now. If you're farther south and east, you're watching in Smithville, Cookville, Baxter, Clark Range, these areas. I would say these storms will probably be to you within the next 15 to 30 minutes, depending on how far south and east you are. So maybe about 15 minutes for Cookville, and about 30 minutes for Clark Range and Smithville. So those will give you some rough ETA. So about 15 minutes. Cookville, all good area. 30 minutes for the Smithville and Clark Range areas. Farther south and east, it's going to take a little bit longer for these storms to arrive. So we'll say anywhere from 30 minutes to at least an hour, if not longer, to McMinnville, Spencer, Crossville. Maybe even an hour and a half to 2 hours, again, depending on if this line decides to speed up or slow down any. So again, those are some rough ETAs there. Right now it's 12:44, so I think by around 3 a.m. we might be wrapping this up, hopefully. Now we'll have to watch this activity developing southwest of us. So far this has been well behaved. None of this activity has shown signs of becoming severe. But with this being a pretty soupy environment, those storms will have plenty of energy to work with if they decide to become severe. So we'll have to watch all that activity very closely. Again, it's a whole lot of nothing right now, but a whole lot of nothing can become a whole lot of something quickly and present a threat, particularly to our southern area. So from Smithville, Sparta, Crossville, and points south of McMinnville and Spencer, we're really going to have to watch for that activity. Farther north, again, this is our main line of storms. The Weather Service is putting out a new advisory for this activity. This advisory includes, for us, looks like just the Cab County and points west along this line. And I mentioned the potential for 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts and pea-sized hail. The same threat we're looking at farther east for Cookville, Jamestown, and these areas. In fact, while we were talking about that, the Weather Service did go ahead and drop the warning. So no active warnings right now for our immediate viewing area. If you're in Scott County, northern Morgan County, you're just outside our immediate viewing area, but you are still under severe thunderstorm warning for another 30 minutes. So just keep that in mind. And for damaging straight line winds soon to move through your area. But farther west for our viewing area, no warnings in effect at this time. It's just some strong storms. Again, these storms are continuing to move faster than anticipated. Again, no complaints from me on that. And they are sub-severe. Again, no complaints from me on that. But we'll just have to see what happens as they continue to move farther south and east. Most intense portion of this storm is currently located from Lebanon along I-40 into southern Smith County, where we may have the potential for some wind gusts upwards of 50 miles per hour as this moves farther south. The threshold for a severe thunderstorm warning is damaging winds in excess of 58 miles per hour. So we're pretty close to that threshold with that advisory. So if this storm intensifies much more, we could get a warning with that. But at this time, no active warning right now. Of course, it's raining very heavily all throughout Smith County, all throughout Jackson County. Now, Livingston has been raining for a little bit now. Rain's starting to pick up there for you as well as the winds potentially. Cookville, within the next 10 minutes, this will be to you. Same for northern areas of DeKalb County, Center Hill Lake, back towards Alexandria, Liberty. Again, just a heads up, pretty strong, stout storm about to move through. Not severe right now, but still very strong. And that can be said all along this line up into southern Overton County and into southern Fentress County as well. So again, we don't want to leave any areas out with this. But again, none of this is severe. I'm live right now to help with storm anxiety. That's my main purpose of being live right now, because I know a lot of y'all have storm anxiety. Normally, I would not be live for this if there's no active warnings, but again, I know a lot of you have storm anxiety. Y'all are dealing with that, and that's why we are here. I do try to look over the comments whenever I can. Just know that there's a lot going on. I'm only one person here. Eventually, I can't wait for the day when I have a staff here. I can be like, hey, so-and-so, how's, can you pull up that camera? Can you double box me? Can you do, or they can tell me to do that. I don't know how it's going to work, how the hierarchy is going to be. I'll always own it, but, you know, I don't know how all that's going to work, but it's going to be nice to finally have some help with all that eventually once we get there. But we need more sponsors, y'all. We got our few sponsors we have now. I'm very thankful for them. You can see them scrolling on your screen there. They sponsor our live weather channel that streams 24/7 to YouTube. We are working on getting it on cable to some local cable providers. Hopefully that will be coming soon. Streaming app still coming soon. Still working on that. We've hit a bit of a snag with that, but that is still in the works. So we will eventually be on Roku, Fire TV, and of course local cable on certain providers as well, potentially coming down as well in the future. So again, the channel is expanding. Right now it's on YouTube, but you can find it there anytime. And it's a very handy thing. We are certainly very thankful to our sponsors who allow us to keep the channel going, who allow us to be here providing this level of coverage to you for free, I might add, for free, especially as one person here doing all of this. Of course, since we have kind of a lull here, we can talk about other things too. I mean, we still want to stay on the topic of weather. But I can look at some of the comments now. Again, a lot of y'all are thanking me, and I appreciate all of that. Again, I'm very thankful for all of y'all. Very thankful for our sponsors. Those who've donated towards our new studio, very, very thankful for y'all as well. We've raised over $11,000 so far, which is just incredible. Our goal currently stands at $15,000. We've raised it to $15,000. Just because the more we raise, the more we can do with this space. Again, if you're new, if you've not heard about this, we have secured a new space to build a new studio in. It used to be an old classroom. It's about 800 square foot in the size, much better than the 100 square foot bedroom we've been in. So it's going to be a huge upgrade. We're already painting it right now. Painting is just about concluded. We are doing electrical work. That's almost concluded as well. And once we get both of those knocked out, hopefully maybe in the next week, we will begin cleanup from all the mess that's been made, and then we'll start looking at putting down carpet to help with the acoustics, because it's a concrete room. You got concrete walls, you got a tile floor, and believe it or not, even a concrete ceiling in some spots. So it sounds like a cave when you walk in there right now. So we're going to put some carpet tiles down to help with that echo, and we'll probably have to also put up some foam padding along some of the walls too. Again, it's going to be a TV studio, so we got to do those things. You can see there on the right, it may be kind of hard to see. That gives you kind of an idea of what I'm planning for the space. That'll be our weather wall. It may not look exactly like that. Again, the more we raise, the cooler we can make that. We've already bought some of the monitors that will comprise that weather wall, though, so I'm very excited for that. We're going to have a giant screen behind the desk there. It's going to be very much like a TV style desk. So like you see your news desk on TV, it's going to be very much like that. And I can jump back and forth. So we'll have a chroma key wall, a green screen, just like we've had in this bedroom setup. I can't use it right now because this is kind of a holding area. It's like a little mini Best Buy in here right now with all the electronics we have for the new studio. But we'll have a very large chroma key wall, much larger than we've had before. And I'll have the ability to go back and forth. So if I want to be on the green screen, I can do that, and if I want to switch to just being behind the desk, I can do that as well. So again, a lot of cool features. We'll have the ability to do daily forecast segments. So on our live weather channel, you'll start seeing me every day on there with live video, well, with video content anyway, more than just the rotating feed that we have now. We'll actually have forecasts inserted in there, and all working towards building this as a business, as a brand, so that we can do more things. Invest in better technologies, better radar technology, better forecasting technology, just improving everything across the board. Eventually establishing a weather app, so that I know a lot of y'all have requested that over the years. That'll be one of the next things I look into for sure, is getting an app launched, a free weather app that you would be able to download, that you can get alerts directly from us whenever warnings are issued, and of course you'd be able to see our live coverage there. Just a lot of really cool things as we build towards the future. But this studio, that's one of the things that's been on our list. Again, I just looked down at the comments. Angela says, what kind of coffee are you drinking? Folgers. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. They need to sponsor us. And we need all the sponsors we can get. But we're going to go back to radar now. It's enough about our studio because I know a lot of y'all are tuning in for weather updates. That coffee's really kicking in right now. I can tell y'all that too. But again, nothing severe right now for us. We can give some more all clears, though. I can tell you that. So if you're in Trousdale County, if you're in Pickett County, I'm giving y'all an all clear. No more severe weather worries for the rest of the night for y'all. So Pickett, Clay, Macon, and Trousdale counties, y'all have the all clear. Y'all can go to bed in peace. Soon we'll be able to give an all clear for Smith and Jackson counties. But again, the most intense portion of the storm is still near Gordonsville, moving into Lancaster. About to move into Baxter here soon, extending up in the Dotson branch. In fact, we have a Dotson branch camera. We can take a look at it. So we'll give that a second to get pulled up here. Again, very dark scene there. I don't think this is current. There it goes. So just some rain right now in Dotson branch. Heavy rain, wind likely picking up there as well. But again, this storm is not severe for Dotson branch at the moment. But again, that activity is continuing to work towards the south. So Cookville, this will soon be moving into your area within the next 5 to 10 minutes. So Cookville, Allgood, Baxter, within the next 5 to 10 minutes, this activity will be to you with some gusty winds, heavy rain, and also a lot of lightning as well. We are watching for potential intensification. But for now, these storms, again, are below severe limits. But, of course, very heavy storm over Dotson Branch. We can go to the Carthage Tower Cam. Same story for Carthage. Again, this is going to take a second to load the latest Tower Cam image from Carthage. But when it loads in, again, we should see a similar picture. And, yep, there it goes. So, again, you can see the lightning flickering there in the distance with lightning in the area. And, of course, very heavy rain falling in Carthage right now. But as far as the strongest of the winds now shifting south and east of Carthage, now over the Gordonsville area and moving into Lancaster for Smith County. We can also look at our Gainsboro Tower Cam. Again, pretty much the same story for Gainsboro as well. Just a lot of heavy rain right now. Strongest winds have now shifted south of you in Gainsboro. But still pretty intense storm. A lot of lightning embedded within this. I know that's unsettling for sure. So you may be tuning into us just because you've heard a lot of thunder out there with these storms. But again, all this activity right now is sub-severe for our entire immediate viewing area. And again, Jamestown, we can go back to the Jamestown Tower Cam. Again, it's still the same story. Just some rain, some wind. But again, this storm is below severe limits. We can go to the Cookville Tower Cam. Cookville is not yet raining there. But we will see this activity move in very, very soon. We'll probably see some lightning on this view here. I'm sure here in a moment you'll see some lightning flickering. There it goes. So yeah, you can see some lightning there off in the distance again. Cookville winds are about to pick up here pretty soon. Lightning's going to pick up, and of course those rains will become pretty heavy for at least a brief period. So again, Cookville, just a heads up, this is moving your way. It's not severe, but it is strong. And again, we are just continuing to watch it right now. Baxter, you have a camera too. We got cameras all over the place. Eventually, every county will have one. That image is obviously old. I wish the sun was out right now. Well, actually, I don't. I wish there was no storms and I was in the bed right now. Baxter, looks like your camera's down. We've had a few issues with the Baxter camera the last few days. Hopefully, we can get those connectivity issues resolved. But there's your radar imagery again. Strong line of storms rolling through. They may be sub-severe, but they're still loud. They still pack a punch. You're still hearing them outside. You're hearing the thunder. You may be experiencing the wind wherever you are. But again, at this time, they are below severe limits. That's wonderful news. Certainly not what we expected, especially based on what the models were outputting. We expected these storms to be a lot stronger and more intense, but so far they have been mostly below severe limits. We only had one warning issued so far for parts of Overton, Pickett, and Fentress counties, but that has since expired. Again, as the storm weakened below severe limits up that way. Still strong, though. Still seeing the potential for embedded wind gusts, perhaps in the 40 to 50 mile per hour range pretty much all along this line. And it is possible these storms could intensify further. So again, we're just going to continue to watch them as they drop farther south and east. One thing I'm going to be curious to see is as this storm line encounters these areas farther south from Smithville, Sparta, Crossville, down into McMinnville, Spencer, we didn't see storm activity earlier today down in these areas. I suspect the storms we saw earlier today helped to stabilize the atmosphere somewhat for our northern areas. So that's been good news for you. However, we did not have that same luxury farther south. Again, y'all missed out on those storms, which was a good thing, but y'all may have a little bit more unstable environment to work with for these storms, so we'll see if they intensify further. I'm not saying they will. I'm just saying it's definitely something we're going to be watching for, though, with time. And again, looks like we have a few cells trying to pop up out ahead of this line now. So this line's become a little bit disorganized, but we have these cells beginning to pop out ahead of this line along this outflow boundary. We're going to really watch those cells closely in case they strengthen and become severe in their own right. So again, we have an active radar picture right now. Again, none of this activity is severe, but it still bears watching, especially the farther south and east you are. It's moving into Cookville right now. About to move in the Clark range here in the next 10 minutes or so. Same for Rickman. It's moving into your location right now. All good. It's beginning to rain in All Good right now. Winds likely picking up in All Good. Of course, just coming, just a good frog strangler right now. All across Smith County, all across central southern Jackson County, all across Overton County, and extending up into Fentress County to Jamestown. But again, none of this is severe. So if you hear me calling out specific communities, again, it's because none of this is severe right now. And our main focus, at this point is shifting farther south and east. So I'm going to draw a line here. This to kind of give you an idea where the strongest activity is currently located. So this is your line here. Your strongest winds are located along or just behind that line. So right in this area would be your strongest winds. And again, this is all moving towards the southeast. So if we see any intensification, it would be in this area here. Also, these individual cells we're going to see pop up out ahead of this line. This one near Smithville, and then just off screen here back towards Murfreesboro. Again, we'll have to watch that activity too for potential strengthening along that outflow boundary. So again, still an active situation here. Our severe weather threat has not ended, especially if you're south and east. Now, I have given some all clears, and we're going to continue with those same areas. So Trousdale County, Macon County, Clay County, Pickett County. Again, y'all have the all clear. That's for the rest of the night. We're not anticipating any additional severe weather worries. The tornado watch does remain in effect till 5 a.m., but I suspect the Weather Service will likely begin dropping some counties here soon from that watch. Maybe over the next hour or so, we'll see some of those counties be peeled back from that tornado watch. Farther south, northern areas of Smith County, I'm feeling pretty good about y'all too, but we're going to wait until these storms clear Smith County before I give the whole county the all clear. Same for northern Jackson County as well. So again, we are able to give some all clears at this point, but the farther south and east you are, we very much cannot give an all clear because we do still have this line of storms set to roll through. They have not been too worrisome so far, which is great, but again, they could still pulse up as they encounter what may be a more unstable environment farther south, again, where we didn't have that activity earlier today. So again, that's still something that bears watching. But again, there is your whole line of storms. It's not the same situation in other areas. West Tennessee near Jackson, tornado warning for the Jackson area over in Madison County. Again, this is well outside our viewing area, but we'll go ahead and show you that since we don't really have anything of concern here at the moment. So part of this line is very much severe with an ongoing tornado threat. Of course, with these yellow polygons, those being severe thunderstorm warnings. And even northeast of us up into Kentucky, severe thunderstorm warnings all along this line, all throughout eastern Kentucky. So again, we are very fortunate right now that we are in a lull in terms of severe weather, because it is definitely not the case northeast of us and southwest of us. Now, this activity here in West Tennessee, we don't anticipate that to impact us. This line for us is it, unless we see any showers or storms pop out ahead of this line, which still remains a possibility. But in terms of our severe weather threat, it will come to an end once this line pushes through your area. Now, there's still a lot of rain behind this, so just because the heavy rain and severe threat comes to an end, we'll still have to watch for potential flash flooding because there's still a lot of rain extending back up into Kentucky with this. And, of course, with all the rains we've seen today, all the rains we've seen lately, and, of course, this heavy round of rain moving in now, again, only exasperating the potential for flooding. So, again, we'll definitely have to be on guard for that flash flooding threat overnight. But right now, again, here is your line of storms. We kind of reset here and look at radar. We can go to the Cookville Tower Cam as the strongest activity now moves into Cookville. Again, give this a few moments. This will refresh. So again, raining very heavily now in Cookville. Wind is picking up in Cookville as well. Again, this storm is below severe limits, but still strong nevertheless. In the last minute or so, we have had a 25-mile-per-hour wind gust here at the Cookville Tower campsite. This is located at the Putnam County EMA office on the east side of Cookville, on Willow Avenue. So again, that gives you some perspective on where this tower cam is located. West side. Did I say east side? I meant west side of Cookville. Again, west side of Willow Avenue at the Putnam County EMA tower is where this camera is situated. I believe we're looking west here from this particular camera, and again, can't really see much with this as we have very heavy rain now in the Cookville area, but winds are gusting right now to about 25 miles per hour, which is below severe limits but still pretty strong. And with the ground saturated, that could still be strong enough to bring down a few trees as well. You can see the lightning flickering there. Very electrical storm in some areas. So again, still a very intense storm. That's why I'm live right now, just walking y'all through this until it's out of here. A lot of y'all have storm anxiety. I understand. That's why we're here. So again, while we don't have any active warnings, we're still going to stay live with this because it is an overnight storm. I know a lot of y'all have concerns, certainly with some of the wording we were using earlier. And again, we're going to have to figure out something to do with these models. And I don't mean the models are bad. I'm just saying we need to invest more in this technology because it's great technology, but some of these models have been performing kind of poorly here lately. Certainly one of the short-range models we look at, the HRRR, just really hasn't handled this event very well, and it's been that way with several past events. So, again, that's something well above our head, well above our level, at the government level. It's got to be looked into, but certainly need more investment in these weather technologies because we have great technology out there, but again, there's always room for improvement. But that particular model I'm referencing, and a lot of the models showed a much more intense line of storms rolling through right now than has actually ended up being the case, which we're thankful for. We're thankful these storms are not as intense. Of course, with our wording and everything, of course, then we run to the issue of people saying, oh, well, y'all said these were going to be severe and they're not, and blah, blah, blah. I get it. But again, we're only as good as the information we have in front of us. And still, though, we still maintain a potential severe weather threat across our central and southern areas. So, again, we're not done yet. These storms may be trying to intensify again as they move into Smithville, as they move into southern Putnam County, approaching Monterey. So this is definitely an area we're going to have to watch, especially here near Smithville and up to Monterey. I'm kind of not really concerned, but definitely watching this area closely. So for Smithville, point south, towards Sparta, Crossville, we'll have to watch this closely. Again, y'all didn't have the storms earlier today, so that may be helping the environment down this way be a little bit more unstable and allow for these storms to strengthen more than they have so far farther north. As far as all clears go, again, I'm only giving all clears to whole counties at this point. So Smith County, Jackson County, I hesitate to give an all clear just yet. But northern area certainly looking that way. But Trousdale, Macon, Clay, and Pickett counties, I have given an all clear to. Your severe weather threat has ended. That's for the night. So y'all can go to bed. Y'all may still hear some occasional thunder, still raining heavily. And we'll still have to watch for that flash flood threat. If you live in a flood-prone area, just keep that in mind. That flash flooding could be a problem later on tonight, again, with rain continuing over the next several hours. It's farther south and east, really from Smithville up into Cookville, still up into Jamestown, and points south and east where we're still going to continue to have to monitor for the threat of severe weather over the next couple of hours. So, again, while we're feeling a little bit better about these storms, we're not done yet. As we do still have a few areas, we're definitely still watching for potential strengthening to potentially become severe. So we're not done yet. The straight line winds still continue to be our primary concern with these storms as they move south and east. Definitely seeing some indications of some strong winds along the leading edge of this storm activity. So especially here with this gust front, this outflow boundary that's spread out ahead of these storms, you may get a brief gust of wind of around 30 to 40 miles per hour. So Sparta, that's just about to move into your area. I'll tell you what, let's take a look at our Smithville tower cam. In fact, let's go to the downtown cam in Smithville. You're looking at the courthouse there on the square in Smithville. This might be delayed by a moment or two, so we'll let this load in the current image as heavy rain and this strong storm moves in. Okay, looks like we're looking at the tower right now. Let's go to our other Smithville camera, also in downtown Smithville. And again, this will have to load in the latest image. And you can see just some rain right now, but winds may be picking up in Smithville as this heavy activity rolls in. Again, this isn't severe, but still bears watching as this continues to move towards the south and east. I think at this point, I am ready to give another all clear. So we'll go to our radar. Smith County. I'm breaking my rule here, but north of I-40, so from Gornsville and points north, Carthage up to Pleasant Shade, pretty much your northern half of Smith County, north of Gornsville, I'm giving the all clear. South of Gornsville, I'll give you an all clear maybe in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Let's just let this line get on out of there. Jackson County, the whole county, I'm giving you an all clear. As far as severe weather goes for the rest of the night, I'm giving an all clear to Jackson County. And most of Smith County, soon to give an all clear for areas along and south of I-40 as well. Y'all join Trousdale, Macon, Clay, and Pickett counties to areas I have given the all clear to. I really need like a map, like an all clear map that I can reference. And maybe that's something we can generate the next time we have severe weather. But anyway, y'all have the all clear. Y'all can go to bed. Y'all are good. You're going to hear some thunder outside. It's going to rain for a while. But as far as severe weather, your threat has ended in those areas. Now, along and south of I-40 and up along 127 from Crossville to Jamestown, y'all are still very much under the gun for potential severe weather over the next couple of hours as this activity continues to slide south and east. So again, it's right over top of Cookville right now, extending up into Jamestown, now down into Smithville, and again, continue to move south and east. McMinnville, you have a shower now developing down that way. We'll have to watch that closely in case that intensifies. We cannot rule out the potential for a supercell to develop out ahead of this main line. So again, nothing of concern right now with that, but it's that kind of activity we'll have to watch. This activity down near Athens, Alabama, and over into Huntsville was kind of the same situation. This was just some rain earlier, but it has developed into a pretty stout storm that is severe warned. Not saying that will happen with this activity in McMinnville, but again, it is something we'll have to watch for. I'm consulting with the Weather Service chat. They mentioned they are actually about to clear a big chunk of counties from the watch. That's their exact wording. So several counties set to be removed from the tornado watch. Most of those will probably be northwest of us in the Nashville area, points north up towards Clarksville. But I do anticipate Macon, Clay, you'll probably be dropped from that watch as well. Of course, we've already given some all clears in these areas. And again, we'll see that tornado watch continue to be peeled back as we go forward in time. Now, farther south and east you are, you're going to remain under that tornado watch. Most likely, I don't see y'all being removed yet. Again, as we still have to await this line to move through. Still a lot of unknowns right now. These storms could intensify further. They have to some degree intensified, but it's not quite to severe strength. But we're just going to have to continue to watch these closely, again, as they push farther south and east. Again, these areas didn't see a whole lot of storm activity earlier, so the atmosphere might be a little bit more charged up, a little bit more unstable. And again, that is something we're going to have to watch for with time. Again, I'm not calling out a whole lot of areas in particular. I just glanced down at the comments, and a lot of y'all are asking about different areas here. Again, we have no active severe weather, so that's why we're not calling out specific communities right now. Our heaviest activity right now is located really over Center Hill Lake, I would say, at the moment. We might have a little bit of hail moving through there right now. But again, this is sub-severe, but still some lightning in the area as well. And of course, a good frog strangler here. I actually heard a good term, and I've heard this term before, but it's like a cow pissing on a flat rock is the kind of situation we have northeast of Smithville. I've been waiting all day to say that. All right, tornado watch has been dropped from Trousdale, Macon, and Clay counties. You are no longer in the tornado watch, and that is reflected on the map below. So again, y'all are out of the tornado watch. I am comfortable giving an all clear to Smith and Jackson counties as well as Pickett County. So y'all will probably be dropped from that tornado watch here soon as well. But for now, again, the counties I just mentioned, Trousdale, Macon, Clay, y'all have been dropped from the tornado watch. And also Smith, Jackson, Pickett, I'm giving y'all the all clear as well. Y'all will be dropped from the tornado watch here soon. But officially, you're still in it. But again, unofficially, I'm giving you the all clear. Y'all can go to bed. Heaviest activity and potential for severe weather is now south of you. Cookville, it's raining heavily, but I'm feeling pretty good that the threat of severe weather will soon be ending for you soon. As the leading edge of this activity slides south of you along I-40, soon to move into Sparta. So Sparta, again, you're next in line for this. Smithville, you just had that one wave of heavy rain and storms roll out, but you got another following right on its heels. So again, rain and storms are about to intensify once again in the Smithville area. We can take a look at our Sparta tower cam. And again, all is calm in Smithville right now. You can see the lightning off in the distance. Potentially on this view. I think this might be a little bit delayed. So there we go. So this is live right now looking at Smithville. You can see the winds beginning to pick up. Camera shaking in the wind as that outflow boundary moves through. And again, the heaviest storm activity just about to move into Sparta momentarily. So winds will pick up. May have some 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts in Smithville. And of course, rain will also accompany this as well, along with some lightning. So again, that is Smithville right now. You can see the camera shaking in the wind as those strong winds arrive. But again, this is below severe limits right now. We're still watching it closely in case it intensifies. But for now, again, this storm is below severe limits. We've only had one warning issued so far this morning, this, whatever you call this. What is it, 1 o'clock in the morning? I guess it's morning now. Earlier for Overton, Pickett, and Fentress counties that since expired a while ago. We've not had any additional warnings issued since then. But this activity still remains strong. It may not be severe, but it's still strong. And I know that's concerning to a lot of you. The thunder might be waking you up, or the heavy rain, the wind, and you're wondering what's going on, so you're tuning in. That's why we're live right now. Again, even though we have no active warnings, we still have tower cams we can point to. We still have radar we can show you, and we can walk y'all through these until the severe weather threat passes. So, of course, we've already had some counties drop from the tornado watch. We'll likely have more counties dropped here soon. I've already given some all clears, even to some counties that were not taken out of the watch just yet. Still Smith, Jackson, Trousdale, Macon, Clay, Pickett. Y'all are the only counties I've given an all clear to. Soon we might be able to add Overton County, at least areas from Livingston to points north. Not ready to do that just yet, but we will here pretty soon, I think. Be able to give y'all an all clear as well. But farther south, again, from Smithville over to Sparta, Crossville, McMinnville, Spencer, you're still dealing with this severe weather threat, at least for the next hour or two. But I think by 2:30, maybe 3 a.m., the severe weather threat should be over with for all areas in our viewing area. So, again, we'll get through it. And, again, this is the hand we're being dealt this morning. Thankfully, we've not seen much in the way of severe weather with this round, unlike models we're projecting. The models aren't perfect. It is unfortunate. I mean, it's a good thing that the models were wrong on this, but it is, discouraging. I guess that's the best word to use when models show something and then something else happens, whether it be storms not happening that do happen, or vice versa in this case, where the storms just really aren't as intense as they they had indicated. More so for the wording we were having to put out ahead of these storms. You know, we don't want anyone to think, well, they said the storms are going to be really bad, and they're not. Well, again, we're only as good as the information we have in front of us. So just be thankful these storms aren't as bad as they could have been. But we're not done yet, though, so still be on guard. DeKalb, White, Cumberland, Warren, Van Buren counties, we're not done yet. Y'all are still in the tornado watch. And even farther north, Alexandria, Cookville, Monterey, you're in the thick of it right now, on up into Jamestown. We can probably give y'all an all clear here pretty soon. The heaviest of this activity is still on top of you right now. So, I can look at some comments now. I've been rambling on and on about this. Just trying to answer any questions before they come in. Again, I would not be surprised if we have some power outages with this activity again. Even with these storms being sub-severe, with the ground being really saturated in a lot of areas, it's not going to take a whole lot of wind energy to bring down trees. 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts, with the ground being as saturated as it is, could easily bring down a tree, which could then knock the power out in some areas. So we may get some sporadic power outages from this, even with these storms being below severe limits. So that's why we're live. These are still strong storms. I don't want to take away from that. Still strong storms, are just not severe, thankfully, but that doesn't mean they won't become severe. I don't say that to scare anyone. We're just trying to put factual information out there based on the information we have in front of us, and just rolling with it from there. Liz says Pleasant Hill, it's here. Joel says hail in Sparta, which is interesting. It doesn't really correlate with the radar, but I believe it. We don't have a radar all that close to Sparta, so we don't know what's happening closer to the surface. So certainly not going to discount that. Of course, a lot of strong winds along this line of storms too, even though they're not severe, still very strong. And again, we could still have some trees and power lines down from these winds, even though they're below severe limits. Of course, a lot of heavy rain, a lot of lightning with this activity as well. See the latest radar scans coming in. Every few minutes we get a new radar scan. Still not showing any signs of these storms strengthening to the point of a warning needing to be issued. But they are still strong regardless. I can look at our velocities to see if we can see anything with the wind here. Not seeing any signs of rotation, which is great. A little bit of bowing here west of Smithville. So Smithville, we could get some gusty winds pushing through here momentarily. And points south and east from there. So Midway, Jefferson, Blue Springs, again, your wind might be picking up here soon. Sparta, again, this activity is now moving into your area too. Winds are picking up for y'all. Of course, we've given some all clears already. Smith, Trousdale, Macon, Clay, Jackson, Pickett counties, y'all have the all clear. Overton County, still holding off just for a little bit longer. We still have some strong storm activity near Rickman extending over in the Clark range, but I think here in the next 10 minutes or so, we can probably give y'all the all clear too, and maybe in Fentress County as well. Of course, we've already had some counties drop from the tornado watch. We'll likely have more counties dropped here soon. The severe weather threat is really transitioning to our far southern area. So from Smithville, Sparta, Crossville, down into McMinnville and Spencer. And one concern I have, I'll repeat this, is the fact that we did not have much storm activity earlier today in these areas. So this could be a little bit more unstable environment for these storms to work with. So that could help them to intensify. I'm not saying that'll happen. I'm just saying it is one thing I'm watching for, though. Especially with the storms farther north as they move through our northern areas. With the storms we had earlier today, I'm suspecting that our atmosphere is just a little bit too stable for these storms to really pose much of a severe threat, which is great. Models certainly didn't indicate that being the case. They had a really rough situation coming through, but that's not ended up being the case. But farther south, we are still going to definitely be on guard until we get this line on out of here. So Smithville, it's on top of you now. Sparta, just now moving into your area. Monterey, it's on top of you. Clark range. Northern areas of Cumberland County. Bowman, Pleasant Hill, it's just about to be into your areas. Crossville, this will be to you probably in the next 10 minutes or so. Again, you're going to have a pretty big gust of wind likely to blow through, along with some lightning, some heavy rain. And if the storm were to intensify, the winds could be stronger. We'll just have to wait and see on that. McMinnville, you have some rain in the area right now. Spencer, you got a little shower about to move through. Heavier activity is still just to your north, though, with this line. So for McMinnville, Spencer, you probably have another 30 minutes before this main storm line reaches you. And, of course, you have these storms popping out ahead of that activity, which we'll have to watch those, too, in case they'll strengthen any. But, again, this main line is it as far as our severe weather threat goes. Farther west, we're not worried about this activity here. Have a tornado warning here coming out of Jackson, Tennessee. So again, this is of no concern to us. This will stay out of our area, but just goes to show these are intense storms all around, even to our east and northeast and east across eastern Kentucky. Very intense line of storms across eastern areas of Kentucky. Just a host of severe thunderstorm warnings all along this line across eastern Kentucky. We're in a very awesome spot here where while these storms are pretty intense, they are not to severe levels. Doesn't mean they will strengthen and become severe, but we are very lucky that we are not seeing the same severe weather worries that they're seeing west of us and northeast of us. We are in the middle, and tonight the middle is where we want to be, evidently, because it could be a totally different story. We could be dealing with the severe weather dealing with in Kentucky. We could be dealing with the severe weather they are dealing with in West Tennessee. But right now, we're avoiding those concerns. But we're still going to have to watch closely, again, for our southern areas in case we see any intensification. Overton County, your time has come. I'm giving you the all clear. So if you're in Overton County, I'm giving you the all clear. Some heavy rain still southeastern Overton County near Crawford. But again, I think as far as any severe weather concerns go, I'm giving you all the all clear. Fentress County, I'm going to hang off just a little bit longer because Clark rain's still pretty intense down that way. But Jamestown, I feel pretty good about y'all at this point about giving it all clear here pretty soon for Jamestown. And really all of Fentress County, maybe in the next 10 minutes or so. Putnam County, I can't give an all clear just yet because, again, it's still a pretty intense storm across areas along and south of I-40 up into Cookville. But again, maybe here in the next 15 minutes or so, we can give y'all an all clear too for Putnam County. Again, our severe weather threat is now shifting more to our southern areas, which is interesting because, again, y'all did not have those storms earlier today, at least not as much coverage, which means the atmosphere might be a little bit more unstable down this way, and something we'll definitely have to watch as these storms continue to move south and east. So, again, we're not done yet as far as severe weather goes for these areas here, but the farther north and west you are, again, we are giving a lot of all clears here for these areas. So, again, just give it time. Right now, it's 1:25 a.m. Central Time, and I suspect maybe by around 3 a.m., if not a little before, our severe weather threat should be over with completely for all areas, which is, I know, great news for everyone involved. And even some of the areas I've given the all clear to. I know it's raining. Overton County, still pretty intense storm. Maybe even a little hail here, far southeastern Overton County, near the the triple point, really quadruple point, where Overton County, Fentress County, Cumberland County, and Putnam County all meet up. Could be some hail right there. So heads up if you're in Bowman, northern Cumberland County. Could be some hail moving your way with that storm. The line itself is pretty disorganized. You don't have any one particular area like a Boeing segment or anything, which is good to see. But each cluster in this line is pretty intense in its own right. So we'll just have to watch each one of those closely. And I know winds are strong within this, even though we don't have any warnings in effect. There are still some gusty winds, maybe some 30, 40 mile per hour wind gusts in this. Of course, the potential for some small hail embedded within this as well. Quite a bit of lightning embedded in some areas, and of course the torrential rains. Farther north, even though I've given you the all clear for severe weather, we still have a lot of shower activity still to go. So flash flooding, still a potential for these areas here. So it's something we're still going to have to watch. We're just very fortunate right now that we've not had any warnings in effect for a while now. Knock on wood, maybe we can make it through the rest of the morning without any being issued. But again, we're still going to stay live with these storms until they clear, until that severe weather threat has officially ended. We're going to stick with these storms. Farther to west, well outside our viewing area, there is an active tornado warning over that way, north of Savannah, Tennessee, approaching Clifton, moving through Henderson. Our friends at Tennessee Valley Weather, you can see on the screen behind me there, Fred Goss's is on the radar wall right now, covering that tornado warning live. So if you have friends or family down that way, let them know, hey, there is a tornado potentially approaching you right now as detected by radar. Very intense segment of storm down that way that will not be impacting us. I want to stress that. But again, we are very fortunate that we are not seeing any active warnings, because that is certainly not the case in other areas. Going back to the Weather Service chat, nothing new to report. No news is good news as far as I'm concerned. Let's go back to that Sparta tower cam. And again, this will take a moment to load. But you can see it is raining now in Sparta. That rain will gradually intensify. Looking at radar, we do see some lightning being detected in and around Sparta. Wind is blowing a bit there in Sparta too. Looks like in the last 5 minutes we have had a 35-mile-per-hour wind gust in Sparta. That's not too surprising. These are some pretty intense storms, but that is below severe strength. Severe strength winds would be upwards of 60 miles per hour or stronger. Technically 58 miles per hour, but a lot of times we just round up to 60 because it's easier to say. Smithville, up over to Smithville again. Raining in Smithville right now. Y'all have had a gust of 20 miles per hour at our tower campsite in the last 5 minutes. So again, below severe limits, but still strong regardless. Crossville, we'll jump over to Crossville, take a look at the tower cam there. Again, Crossville, this has not reached you just yet, but it will be knocking on your door in just a matter of minutes. In fact, winds have been gusting. Just had a 36-mile-per-hour wind gust in Crossville, so winds are picking up now in Crossville. The storm may be intensifying down that way. 40-mile-per-hour wind gust now in Crossville at our tower campsite. 43-mile-per-hour wind gusts. The winds are now intensifying in Crossville as the leading edge of this activity moves into Crossville. So we'll keep an eye on this. If these winds intensify further, I may have to report that to the Weather Service if these get to severe strength, because this could get strong enough to prompt a warning. But right now, at least at our tower campsite, we are just below severe limits. But we are definitely going to have to keep an eye on this, a close eye on this storm as it moves through Crossville. Winds right now about 30 miles per hour sustained. But again, we have had a 43 mile per hour gust very recently. So a lot of wind energy moving into Crossville right now with the leading edge of this storm. Again, no warning in effect for this. So I'm going to report that to the Weather Service, that 40-mile-per-hour wind gust, because that is something they need to know. There's no advisory on this. Again, we're heavily reliant upon radar out this way, and radar isn't the best once you get up on the plateau because of how far away the radar site is from Nashville. We're looking several thousand feet up at this storm. Again, we're looking live at Crossville. We're on this view because this gives us a really good view of the storm as it moves into Crossville right now. But again, this is below severe limits, but the winds are still very strong. Again, we have had that 43-mile-per-hour wind gust in the last 5 minutes here in Crossville. But let's go back to radar now. Again, let's give y'all the broad picture of what's going on. Fentress County, I'm giving y'all the all clear. Y'all are joining the all clear list. So Fentress County, still some heavy rain in the Clark Range area. Winds still may be elevated down that way. But in terms of severe weather, I'm feeling pretty good about y'all. So Fentress County, I've given the all clear. Overton County has the all clear. Pickett, Clay, Jackson, Smith, Trousdale, and Macon, I'd already given y'all the all clear. Putnam, I hope to add y'all here pretty soon. Still raining pretty hard. Maybe some embedded gusty winds still within this cell here in Putnam County, but I hope to give you all the all clear here soon. Most intense portion of the storm extends from Smithville over into Sparta, all throughout White County, all throughout DeKalb County, and now moving into northwestern areas of Cumberland County. Of course, we had that 43 mile per hour wind gust in Crossville. So, again, intense storm moving into the Crossville area right now. Of course, we showed y'all that on the tower cam. We'll go back to that view here soon. We do want to point out we have additional storm activity developing further south now into northeastern Warren County, extending into northern Van Buren County. Again, not severe, but we'll watch it in case it intensifies. Still seeing sustained winds of about 20 miles per hour in Crossville at our tower campsite. So, still some strong winds over that way, and could intensify further as this heavier activity moves overhead. But at this time, we've not seen any wind gusts above 43 miles per hour, which is good. Certainly good to see. Looking at comments now, again, I know we have a lot of people watching right now. There are no active warnings for any part of our immediate viewing area. Now, farther east, there is a severe thunderstorm warning outside our viewing area near La Follette, up in the Jellicoe. Also a tornado warning across the Kentucky state line, again, well outside our viewing area. But if you're seeing tornado alerts or anything, maybe your phone, maybe you might be in Scott County and your phone might have pinged for that tornado warning, but it does not include you. So, again, just want to point that out. That is not for us. Farther west, some intense storms warned for a possible tornado here near Henderson, Tennessee. Again, that will not impact us. That's going to stay well west of us. We're not worried about that impacting us here. Just want to point that out for anyone who may be over that way. I'll continue to our friends at Tennessee Valley Weather. They are covering that storm live right now. Our friend Fred Gossage, he is live on the weather wall. You can see him behind me there covering that. And severe thunderstorm warnings extend. At least one warning extends up into eastern sections of Kentucky. So we're in the middle of all that activity with no warnings in effect, and I'm not complaining about that whatsoever. So these intense storms are continuing to slide south and east. I'd say here in about the next hour, our severe weather threat should come to an end completely. But I'm not ready to say that yet. It's just that's the way things are trending right now. And of course, we have no active warnings, which is great. Tornado watch does remain in effect until 5 a.m. We've already had a few counties trimmed from that. I anticipate more counties will likely be dropped from that tornado watch here soon. Again, even with no warnings in effect, winds are still elevated with this activity. Even in areas where the heavier storms have moved out, we could still be having some 10, 20, maybe 30 mile per hour wind gusts up this way. I saw a comment come from Jamestown saying it's still pretty rough up in Jamestown. Your severe threat has ended, but you may still have some gusty winds up that way. So we don't want to discount that. We're just saying that as far as any severe potential, that being winds of 60 miles per hour or greater, that threat has shifted south of you. So, again, DeKalb County, White County, it's on top of you right now, raining very heavily. Could have some localized flooding issues develop across these locations because of all the rain we're seeing. Storms have slowed down just a bit as they've continued to track farther south and east. Crossville, it's felt like this storm has been approaching you for the last 30 minutes now. It's still on your doorstep, the heavier rain, but that should be moving in pretty soon. Van Buren County near Spencer, you're getting in on this activity as well. Some shower activity now down your way. Let's take a look at our velocities, just to make sure everything's behaving. Hard to tell. We'll have to watch that cell near Spencer. Again, not seeing anything concrete with that, but that's an area of interest we may have to watch for potential rotation. Again, not seeing anything too concerning right now. But again, we do still have that threat of severe weather in place, and these areas did not see much storm activity earlier today So the atmosphere may be a little bit more unstable down that direction. And looks like there was a report of wind damage. I don't know if this is from earlier. Okay, so this is from this morning. A tree down near Old Smithville Highway North and Oaklawn Cemetery Road, and that is in the Sparta area. So we have had at least one tree down in Sparta. Again, not surprising. The ground is so saturated right now that it won't take a whole lot of wind to bring down a tree. Even a non-severe wind gust could still bring down a tree. So that is definitely something we're concerned about. So I wouldn't be surprised we hear some power outages from this. If we have some trees blown down just from the ground being saturated and the wind being able to easily bring down some trees, especially those with shallow roots. I'm looking at their comments now. I know these are intense storms. They're below severe limits from what we can see, but the winds are elevated for sure. Looks like Dakota mentioned marble-sized hail in Pleasant Hill. I'm going to report that to the Weather Service. So they know about that. So I've informed the Weather Service of your report. So when y'all report things like that, I do try my best to get those reports over to the National Weather Service so they know about it. So again, we had that report of marble-sized hail in Pleasant Hill, and that is moving into Crossville. Also seeing an uptick of lightning in that area too. So this might be an intensifying portion of the storm moving into Crossville. In fact, we can pull up the Crossville Tower Cam and actually get a view of this storm. Again, as it moves into Crossville, you can see a very intense storm now over Crossville. Let me refresh here. Sustained winds of about 10 to 20 miles per hour or so. So still some strong winds here, not quite severe strength, at least at our tower cam site. We have had almost a 30 mile per hour wind gust in the last 5 minutes in Crossville. So still some strong winds over that way, not quite the severe strength, but still an intense storm, as you can see here in Crossville. And I imagine this scene is being repeated in a lot of areas from Smithville over into Sparta and of course Crossville, maybe even up into Monterey still, with some heavy rain still up that way, and now extending down into Spencer as well in Van Buren counties. Again, this is very likely the same scene a lot of y'all are seeing right now. Of course, I can see why y'all would be disturbed by this, which is why you're tuning into me, and I'm telling you right now, there are no warnings in effect, but it's still an intense storm. Like, I don't want to take away from that. It's just that there's a certain criteria. I'm going back to the comment. If you're still watching, the person who said marble-sized hail in Pleasant Hill, and I'm looking for your comment now. How big would you say that hail was? Was a large marble, a small marble? More specifically, how would you compare it to a coin? Was it like a dime-sized hail, penny-sized hail, nickel-sized hail, quarter-sized hail? That'll really help the Weather Service out. They've actually asked me to report back to y'all on that. So, again, if you can, I think Dakota was your name. If you can comment with that, if you're still watching, let me know, again, compared to a coin, about how big that hail was, so I can report that back to them. Again, I'm looking for your comment now. I think it was on Facebook is where that comment came in from. Dakota says close to dime size. Okay, thank you. I really appreciate that. Okay. So I'll let them know about that. Again, dime size is below severe limits, but still may be enough that the Weather Service might put an advisory on this storm again. And we can see there's definitely some indication of hail potentially here still with this storm southeast of Pleasant Hill. moving very near Crossville. About to move over Tansy here in a little bit. So again, and here near Spencer, there could be some embedded hail with this. Seeing maybe an uptick in hail here near Cedar Grove, just west of Spencer. So just a messy radar picture overall right now. Nothing particularly organized, but still, these are still intense storms. That's why we're staying live with them. And again, that is what we're watching right now. As far as all clears, I'm ready to give a big one here. Putnam County, you have the all clear. So Putnam County, including the city of Cookville, Baxter, Allgood, Monterey, y'all have the all clear from this severe weather threat for the remainder of the night. So all clear for Cookville, all clear for the following counties. Not in alphabetical order, I'm just reading them off as I look at them on the map. But Trousdale, Macon, Smith, Jackson, Clay, Putnam, Overton, Pickett, and Fentress counties. All of you have the all clear for the remainder of the night. DeKalb, White, and Cumberland, y'all are in the thick of it right now. And Warren and Van Buren counties, you're now starting to get on this action too. So again, we still have a little ways to go before we give y'all the all clear. But I'm feeling better about y'all with each radar scan, certainly as these storms continue to be somewhat disorganized. But we're still seeing some intense pockets of air activity, again with some hail here and there, gusty winds, reports of a few trees down in some areas. Again, not surprised by that. The ground being saturated doesn't take a whole lot of wind to bring a tree down, so we could also hear some power outages too. But again, not seeing any signs of rotation, not seeing anything like that, so not worried about a tornado right now. Again, this remains a straight line wind threat, but again, not a severe wind threat for the moment. I keep checking our velocities though, make sure we don't see anything suspect. Again, not seeing anything in particular that's standing out at me at the moment, which is all good news. Definitely things we want to see. Certainly a good thing. So hopefully we can get these storms on out of here. I know some of you are asking about different areas. You're signing on at different times. Again, I've already given the all clear to Putnam County and points north. So Carthage, Gainesboro, Livingston, Jamestown, Byrdstown, Salina, Lafayette, Hartsville, all of you have the all clear at this point. Your crap app on your phone, I said it, your crap app might be showing something different. Disregard that. Again, models overall have performed very poorly with this system for us, and those apps are using that same crappy model data to generate an even crappier forecast. Well, I'm giving you all this in real time, what we're seeing on radar in coordination with the National Weather Service. Again, if you're north of this storm line, for the areas I just mentioned, again, y'all are in the all clear, so you have no remaining severe weather threat for the rest of the night. I know the tornado watch is still technically in effect, but a lot of these counties will soon be peeled off from that watch. We've already had a few counties peeled off, likely to have more counties removed from that watch here soon. So again, DeKalb, White, Cumberland, y'all are seeing these storms move through now. Warren, Van Buren, still to come. So those are the areas we're watching now at this point. Again, once these storms clear those areas, that will end our severe weather threat. Now we have some additional rain and showers still to come for the next several hours. Our flash flood threat has not ended yet. That's the only concern we'll still have for our northern area, so no one has the all clear from that. So again, and there's still some lightning out there too, so we're still some storminess with these storms. But not severe. But again, flash flooding is still something we'll have to watch for the next few hours, especially across our northern half where y'all have just been inundated with rain today at multiple periods. Let's go back to Crossville Tower Cam. And again, very intense rain over Crossville right now. Am seeing signs of hail. Of course, we already had hail reported in Pleasant Hill. Dime size hail in Pleasant Hill already reported by one of y'all, and we can see that on radar over top of Crossville right now. So very likely some small hail, at least maybe some pea-sized hail, maybe some dimes in the mix. Also very intense rain. Some wind still being picked up here in Crossville as well. That activity extends farther west into Midway, the southeastern portions of White County. Still raining pretty hard in Sparta, but the heavier activity is shifted south of you and along the southern edge of DeKalb County. Rain should be letting up here pretty soon for Smithville. So let's take a look at our Sparta tower cam. And this will take a second to load. We should see a pretty similar picture as we saw in Crossville. The rain may not be as intense. Yeah, so raining pretty good right now in Sparta, but again, the more intense portion of the storm has shifted south of you. We're seeing a bit of an uptick in lightning as the storm transitions into Van Buren County near Spencer. So again, that's just another area of strengthening we're going to have to watch. Again, this activity extends down into Warren County as well. But again, no warnings in effect right now. That's the good news. We've only had one warning so far. Definitely not the night we were anticipating. I'm not complaining whatsoever about that. Now, the forecast for tonight's a different story. It does bother me, of course, when we have to put out an outlook like we did and then it doesn't come to fruition. It's a good thing when it doesn't, but, in terms of public confusion and all that, again, we're only as good as the information we have, and there's still some improvements to be made there for sure. But overall, we're definitely happy these storms are underperforming. We're not going to complain about that whatsoever. We'll never complain about that. What we don't want is a situation where models underplay an event and then we see an event overperform. We have had that happen before. Certainly, March 3rd, 2020 definitely sticks out in that regard. So we have had the opposite of this happen before. So certainly a situation like this will definitely take over a worst case scenario for sure. This is the best case scenario so far. We're not done yet, but we're getting close to being done. So pretty intense storm here. Southern White County, a lot of lightning being detected here. Moving into Spencer, the storm has slowed down somewhat as it's moved farther south. Just kind of hanging out here in northern Van Buren County, northern Warren County. Not in any real hurry. Producing a lot of rain, a lot of lightning, some gusty winds extending on up into Crossville as well, Fairfield Glade, all throughout Cumberland County. Again, hopefully you know where you're at on these maps. Again, you see the whole county outlines here. Hopefully you know where you are within these counties. If you're north of these reds and yellows, that means the activity, the strongest, the severe portion of the storm has passed you. You are in the all clear. If you're south of the reds and oranges, or if you're in the middle of it, your severe weather threat has not ended just yet. So we're still watching these storms for y'all. Again, totally different picture back to our west, though, with very intense storms approaching the Tennessee Valley. Our friends at Tennessee Valley Weather are live covering that activity right now as we speak. And also northeast of us, across the eastern portions of Kentucky and the far eastern Tennessee, we again have severe storms over that way too, with this same complex, this same line of storms. It's just we're right in the middle of it, and so far these storms are behaving for us. So again, this is a very localized good thing for us. We are very fortunate that we are not seeing what other areas are seeing right now. And again, I'm only live right now. Normally, I would not be live for this. I'd love to be in the bed right now, but a couple things. One, for my day job, I'm off tomorrow. It's Memorial Day. Number two, a lot of y'all have storm anxiety. And, of course, we were forecasting a pretty significant severe weather threat. Thankfully, that has not come to fruition. But for those reasons, I am providing extended live coverage tonight just to walk y'all through these storms. Again, we just want to make sure everyone's safe and feel safe, especially, and comforted again as we move through the early morning hours with this line of storms. But very thankful we've not really had many warnings issued. We only had one warning that was about an hour or so ago for parts of Fentress, Overton, Pickett counties. That's long since expired. Your severe has ended up that way. But since then, we've not had any additional warnings farther south. Still watching this activity, still strong, still pretty intense, still a lot of lightning with this, still some gusty winds, especially along the leading edge, moving to McMinnville now, moving into Spencer. Your winds are likely picking up right now. Same for Crossville. Again, it just feels like it's been storming pretty intensely over Crossville for like the last 45 minutes now. And that's not an exaggeration. It has been storming pretty hard over that way, but still not quite to severe threshold, which would be 60-mile-per-hour winds or quarter-size hail. We haven't gotten to that point yet, which is why we don't have any warnings in effect. That still doesn't take away from the fact that these are intense. But for those watching, again, we gave some all clears earlier. I think DeKalb County, I feel pretty good at this point about giving you an all clear as well. So DeKalb County, we're going to add you to the all clear list. So that list right now is a long one. So listen up. If you're in Trousdale, Macon, Clay, Pickett, Smith, Jackson, Overton, Fentress, Putnam, and now DeKalb County, I'm giving you the all clear for severe weather for the rest of the night. Y'all can go to bed. Y'all don't have to be like me drinking coffee at 2 a.m. Y'all can go to bed now. You're still going to hear some lightning out there. Hey, we won't downplay that. It's still going to sound rough out there at times. But as far as severe weather goes, your threat has ended. The tornado watch, we're still waiting the Weather Service to drop some additional counties. They're right now more focused on this strengthening complex of storms over southwestern Middle Tennessee, approaching the Tennessee Valley. So understandably, they are more focused on that than they are dropping counties from the tornado watch. So even though a lot of the counties I just mentioned are still in that watch, again, y'all have the all clear. Y'all will be dropped from that watch soon as the Weather Service can focus more attention on it. Really at this point, southern White County, southern eastern Cumberland County, Warren and Van Buren counties are the area of focus right now for the next hour or so. And then we'll be done. That's it. That'll be it as far as our severe weather threat goes for the rest of the night. And we are not worried about any additional severe weather worries tomorrow or really today at this point. So on Memorial Day, looks fine. We could have some storms pop up later in the day. In fact, let's take a look at that right now since we have kind of a lull. We can go over to our future radar. Let's load that up here. Just disregard any warnings you see on your screen. But we're going to take a look at the HRRR future radar. I know this model has not performed particularly well, but it should suffice pretty well for the next several hours. So we'll go forward in time. This is running way behind on these storms, though. First of all, you see how intense it shows these storms being, and that has absolutely not been the case. So again, you can see how it's been easy to project a more intense situation this has ended up being for us. But I think by 4 a.m. these storms will be out of here. I think this is running about an hour or so behind. But by 6 a.m., most of us will likely be dry at that point. And really, through 6 p.m., this model's not showing any additional activity popping up. So we might actually have a pretty good day ahead. I'm not ruling out the possibility of a pop-up shower or storm during the afternoon. But there's no severe weather worries. So for our Memorial Day, y'all should be able to get out and enjoy your outdoor activities you weren't able to enjoy today. So again, we just got to get through this next, 30 minutes to an hour for our far southern areas here: Sparta, Crossville, Point South, McMinnville, Spencer, across Warren and Van Buren counties. Once these storms clear, y'all, again, that should be it as far as our severe weather worries go, and that would be for, the remainder of this morning. So again, we're almost done. I know it's still storming pretty hard out there, even in areas I've already all clear to, but again, rest assured the severe weather threat is dwindling and has completely come to an end for areas, I think at this point, along and north of I-40, except for Cumberland County. I won't say the same for y'all, especially eastern portion of Cumberland County, but from Putnam and Smith counties and points north along I-40 or north of I-40, over into Fentress County, all along up to the Kentucky state line, y'all's severe weather threat has ended for the night. Again, if y'all are new here, we only cover these 14 counties here in the upper Cumberland region of Middle Tennessee, well, Middle and East Tennessee. So this activity here, southwest of us, our friends at Tennessee Valley Weather are all over this right now, so you can go tune into their coverage right now. They're covering this live. You can see on the screen up there behind me, Fred Gossage and the Tennessee Valley Weather Center is covering that. So you can go find them and get the latest updates on that. They may also be looking at the storm near Huntsville. I'm not sure. Huntsville TV market is certainly covering that. Might also be impacting the Chattanooga TV market. I'm not sure, but again, that is again well south of us and out of our viewing area. So that's why we're not focusing on those warnings. Same for these warnings here east of us, up into Kentucky. That's again out of our viewing area. So I'm only one person here. This is something I do technically part-time, I guess you could say, because I do have a full-time job. Working towards making this my full-time job, but again, we are only able to do so much here. So again, areas south of Smithville, south of Sparta, south of Crossville are what we're watching right now. So really northern Warren County, southern White County, northern Van Buren County, and southern Cumberland County are the areas of interest right now. But again, this isn't severe. The Weather Service doesn't even have an advisory on this that tells you anything. So again, all good news. We're just here right now to provide peace of mind. A lot of y'all have storm anxiety. That's really the only reason I'm here right now. Otherwise, normally, I would not be live providing updates for storms that don't have warnings attached to them. This is a little bit outside our normal practice, but again, with these being overnight storms, with the way this was forecasted, certainly the concern we had with this line of storms, I know a lot of y'all have concerns and are wanting to stay up with them, so I'm trying to give y'all the all clears where I can. Most of the area has the all clear. It's really just our far southern areas at this point, and hopefully we can all be in the bed within the next 30 minutes to an hour. So we're going to try to get these storms on out of here as quick as we can, and again, all of us can get a little sleep. I don't know what my sleep's going to look like. I've had a lot of coffee, but for y'all, if y'all haven't had coffee, maybe y'all can get some sleep. I saw a comment that said we're frozen, but on mine it looks like we're running just fine. So that may be a localized issue. So for Alyssa there, I'm looking at your comment. I don't think we're frozen right now on any of our platforms, but again, some of those commenting can let y'all know that we should be running smoothly right now. It's not always the case. I think we've got a pretty good groove going right now with the audio and the video, where we're doing pretty well. All those issues should hopefully be resolved, though, with our new studio. It's been a long time coming. Of course, we're in this small studio space right now. This is a spare bedroom that we're in right now. We've been operating out of a spare bedroom for several years. When I started this, it was my bedroom. Oh, me. I started this when I was 18, covering Smith County. That's just hard to believe when I think about it. Like, man, I was 8. What was I doing? Our mission has been the same the whole time. Provide coverage during severe winter weather, and then, daily forecasts in between. And of course, technology has really come a long ways, and I'm, of course, trying to make a career out of this. But, man, we've really come a long ways here with technology. Regarding our new studio, since we have a lull, no warnings in effect, we can talk about that. We do have a GoFundMe set up right now for our new studio. I believe some donations have come into this since we've been live, and I greatly appreciate that, y'all. Y'all are amazing who've donated towards this. Again, we are, if I can find my mouse here, there it goes. Let me refresh this. We can see where we're up to now. 11,665, and I think we might have a couple other donations we need to add to this from elsewhere. So again, our current goal stands at 15,000, and if we can hit that, we may go up to 20,000. Again, the more we raise, the more we can do. But the studio, the project's already up off the ground. It's an 800 square foot former classroom space that we're fortunate to be able to use and build a studio in. We've already painted the walls appropriately black for a studio. That's normally what you have for a TV studio. So the painting is just about done. Electrical work is wrapping up soon. We're putting in a ton of outlets in this room. There was only one good outlet before. Now we're going to have, I think, 22 or so outlets. Some of those will be in the ceiling for our studio lights. So right now I have studio lights on poles. We'll actually have those mounted to the ceiling like a proper studio. And those will have a special switch. And of course, you can see there we're going to have a nice, really cool weather wall with a weather desk, kind of like a news desk you would see on TV, with the weather wall behind me. I've already bought some of the monitors for that. Looking into different solutions for the desk, but it's all coming along well. We're going to have a giant chroma key wall, giant green screen, so I can go back and forth between the green screen and the desk. And we'll be set up to eventually have a staff too. So once I can be full-time with this, and we can start working towards having a full-time staff will have, again, the space to accommodate that as well as we continue to grow. And I'm hoping we can be in the space for a very long time as we grow. I think it's going to take a long time for us to outgrow this kind of space. This is exactly what we've needed, and I'm very excited for it. It's just up the road from me, so I can quickly get there in the event of a warning. Well, my goal is to be there, period. We're going to have a little hangout area in there for the wife and my baby, and, so all good things. Very excited. Again, that project's already well underway, and hopefully we can wrap up that project in the next few months and be able to debut the new studio. So for those who've donated, I greatly appreciate it. For more information on that, you can go to our Facebook page. Pinned to the top is more details on how to donate. We have the GoFundMe. You can also do Venmo and other ways as well. All of that is on our Facebook page. Going back to radar again, I love seeing this right now. This is a very disorganized radar picture. Not a whole lot of organization, and that's what I love to see, because it means these storms aren't really intensifying any. So while we may still have some gusty winds embedded within this, still some heavy rain, still some lightning. Again, none of this is severe, and at this point, I'm not saying something won't briefly intensify and prompt a warning, but at this point, I'm feeling really, really positive about it. Again, DeKalb County, we already gave you the all clear. White County, I think we'll be able to give you the all clear here pretty soon. I think if you're in Sparta or north of Highway 70, that being White County, northern half of White County, I'm going to give you the all clear. Cumberland County, same for you. If you're in Crossville or points north, really along and north of I-40, I'm now going to give you an all clear as well. So now our severe weather threat has shifted south of Crossville, south of Sparta, really looking at Warren County now, and Van Buren County as the focal point at this point. Again, no active warnings now, but still some intense storms down this way. We'll watch for potential intensification, but again, right now we are not seeing anything to severe limits, which is wonderful. So again, these storms are below severe limits. Hopefully, if we can make it through the next 30 minutes without these storms becoming severe, that'll be it for the night. Now, still some storms on radar. Still a few heavier cells still to move through, so it could get a little intense at times, but again, none of this should be severe. Again, no additional severe weather worries up that way that we can see at the moment right now anyway. But some heavier activity developing near Lebanon that could strengthen a little bit, but I think the atmosphere is likely too worked over for that to become anything concerning. Could pop some lightning and maybe some heavy rain, but that should be about it if it intensifies. It's just this activity here in McMinnville, in Spencer, that's still strong right now. If anything were to intensify and prompt a warning, this would be it. So again, we're going to continue to watch this till this clears Warren and Van Buren counties. Again, a lot of lightning down this way. But again, nothing severe. Cumberland County, same for you. And again, even east, we have viewers. I know someone mentioned Rockwood over in Roane County. Again, your severe weather threat should be ending here pretty soon. Still some gusty winds in that area. A lot of heavy rain. But again, your severe weather threat will be coming to an end here very, very soon. Again, looking at some comments now. Again, I appreciate all y'all who tune in to us. Again, I'm just providing extended coverage right now because I know a lot of y'all have storm anxiety. I'm already up. I've had a lot of coffee now. I did get some good sleep last night. That's rare for me leading up to a severe weather event. I don't always get good sleep leading into severe weather events. So I'm actually pretty well rested right now. So I'm just hoping I can get to sleep when we sign off here. That's my hope for tonight. Someone commented though saying as far as our studio plans, my initial idea was actually to, I don't know, do some sort of outbuilding, a shop building, like with a concrete pad with a shop built. Was an initial idea I had. Of course, that was going to be really expensive, a lot more than $11,000 for sure to do something like that. But something on site like that. But the problem with that is I live in a very remote area, so I would really be limiting myself for growth as far as when the time comes to hire a staff or something on board. I don't know how many people want to come to my backwoods holler to work here. So that would be a problem down the line. It would be convenient, but here's the thing. I can still, even with this new studio, if something were to pop up in the middle of the night and I need to immediately hop on live, I'll still have the capability of doing that from here. Just I won't have all the fancy stuff behind me. I might be in the living room or something, or the dining room. But we'll still have some technology here where we can easily do that kind of coverage from here if we need to. But the new studio space, I think, is going to be a lot more convenient to get to if we do eventually get to the point we hire staff and everything. So, and it's only about 7 minutes up the road from where I'm at, so it's very close by, very easy to get to. So, again, it's just going to be a big help. Also, a lot safer location too than where I'm at now in severe weather. It's an old big concrete structure, a lot of safe areas to go and hide during severe weather. So if we have an event like we did a few weeks ago where I need to get to shelter, I actually can stay mocked up and probably still continue to give coverage while I'm taking shelter and just remotely control the radar. So again, a lot of huge benefits with this facility, and I'm very excited for it. Again, I know I'm rambling here about the studio, but I'm very excited for it. I'm excited to get this project off the ground. It's already started. As far as painting, we're just about done painting. Electrical work is just about done. Our next goal, or next step, is to clean up after the electrical work, after the painting, really deep clean the space, get the floors cleaned up, and try to look into getting some sort of carpet tile. If any of you know a good connection on carpet tile, let me know. I don't want to go too expensive on that just because, again, it's not something y'all are going to see on camera. The only point to the carpet tile is to help with the echo in the room because it is a very cavernous space, as I like to call it. Weather Service has dropped the tornado watch from even more areas now. So in our viewing area, DeKalb County, Fentress County, Jackson, Overton, Pickett, Putnam, and Smith counties have all been dropped from the tornado watch, which are a lot of the same areas I've already given the all clear to. And that is reflected at the bottom of your screen. So the only counties in our immediate viewing area still in the tornado watch are Warren, Van Buren, White, and Cumberland counties. And coincidentally, those are the only counties I have not given an all clear to. So, but White, Cumberland, y'all's severe threat should be dwindling here pretty soon. I think we can give y'all the all clear here maybe in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Really, our strongest activity right now is east of McMinnville. Here southeast of McMinnville is spreading up into Spencer. Still some gusty winds down this way potentially. Still seeing some lightning popping up down that way. We'll look at our velocities. I don't see anything rotating. But still a lot of wind energy with this. Winds still may be gusty even up into DeKalb County and the White County. I don't want to underplay that, but not to severe strength though. Maybe some 20-30 mile per hour wind gusts still embedded, which could still bring down some trees with all the rain we've seen. These storms have moved through a little bit quicker than anticipated. The models just did not forecast this very well, and it happens sometimes. Hey, I would rather have this than the opposite situation where we have models underplaying a severe weather event and then it overperforms and we have much more significant severe weather than was anticipated. I'd much rather have the opposite of that, which is what has happened here, where models overplayed their hand and the storms have underperformed. I'm all about that. I don't like it in terms of how we've communicated this to folks. I mean, we've really tried to communicate the confidence level, but even there, we were kind of promoting more high confidence with these overnight storms. And they did roll through. We have had storms roll through the entire viewing area, so the confidence level in that was spot on. But in terms of severity, again, we've just not really seen it. So, again, don't be too upset you didn't have a tree blow down in your yard or a tree blow down in your house or something. I don't think anybody would ever get upset about that. But, again, that's a good thing we've not had that happen. So, but still, with these being overnight storms, the way it's been communicated, I still want to stay on live until that severe weather threat has completely ended for the remainder of our viewing area. That way y'all can sleep in peace, and we know that there's nothing else to worry about for the remainder of the night. Again, most of our viewing area has been removed from the tornado watch. You can see that at the bottom of your screen. Only Cumberland, Van Buren, Warren, and White counties remain in the tornado watch. But y'all will likely be dropped soon, especially Cumberland and White counties. You'll probably be in the next round of counties dropped from the watch, if not Warren and Van Buren as well. So again, severe weather threat is dwindling. Still an intense storm, especially here from Sparta down to the Spencer, just east of McMinnville. So we're not done yet, but we will be done here pretty soon. We do have some heavier showers beginning to develop, though, back to the north and west. We don't anticipate any of this will become severe. It's just some heavy rain. Nothing to worry about. We could have a bit of lightning embedded within this as well. Main concern with this would be the potential for flash flooding. So that is something we're definitely going to have to watch out for. Thankfully, we've not really had any flooding issues yet. But with all the rain we've seen today, especially earlier today and now again tonight, again, flash flooding could still be a risk, even in areas that are clear from the severe weather threat. So, again, just want to point that out. I don't know what this comment here is from Joe Rodriguez, but you're gone. Let me get on here. We're going to block you from the page because we are not a spam page, and I'm not going to have that on our feed here. So we are getting rid of you, and you are gone. So I just happened to see that comment. I don't know why people are commenting with links here. But yeah, Joe, you are gone. And again, we are going to delete your comment as well. So again, sorry to interrupt the stream for that, but I just happened to look down and see someone posted a very strange link on our Facebook page, and I'm not going to have that. I do have a lot of security things in place for our Facebook page. If you live outside of the United States, you cannot view our Facebook page unless you have a VPN or something connected to the United States. I did that on purpose. Whenever we do our Christmas giveaway, we were having spammers try to clone our page. They would pick up on the word giveaway and create a new Upper Cumberland weather page and attempt to spam people. So whenever we shifted towards only being visible in the United States, that cut most of that out. So just a word of advice to anyone who operates a Facebook page: if you have trouble with spammers cloning your page, trying to impersonate you, just set your page to only be visible in the United States. At least for me, we're not relevant anywhere else other than here, so there's no need for people in Canada or the Middle East or wherever to be able to see our page. So two totally different areas of the world I just mentioned there, by the way, but you get the point. That's just a good pro tip there, and there are ways to do that. I don't know how. I'm not going to walk y'all through that. You'll have to figure that out on your own. But that has definitely helped us. But there are still a few who figure out how to get around that system, perhaps connected to a VPN or something, or maybe they are based here in the United States and they're just a troll. So we'll block them as we come across them. But normally that's not a problem for us in our streams, thankfully. But please never click on a suspicious link that doesn't originate from us. We won't post suspicious links either. But if the page isn't us, we have nearly 51,000 followers or over that on our Facebook page. If it's not us, don't click on it. I don't know. Spam just runs rampant on Facebook these days, and I wish they would crack down more on it. Someone asked about the Sparta Tower Cam. I can take requests. Yeah, so we'll look at the Sparta Tower Cam. Worst is now out of Sparta. May still be some elevated winds there. Still some heavy rain, of course. We can see that on the Tower Cam here. But again, the severe threat has pretty much ended for Sparta. Sparta and Crossville, I feel pretty good about giving y'all the all clear and points north. I think I already did give y'all the all clear. But again, y'all have the all clear from severe weather for the remainder of the night. Southern White County, Southern Cumberland County, going to wait just a moment longer before we give y'all the all clear. Same for Warren and Van Buren counties again. Once this line moves out, again, within the next 20 to 30 minutes, I'd say, we can again give y'all the all clear as well. Again, the focal point of severe weather right now, if we go back to radar, there is severe weather happening. It's just not happening here. Over in the Tennessee Valley area, a whole host of warnings. Southwestern Middle Tennessee, up in the North Alabama, lots of warnings in effect down that way, as well as East Tennessee, even a tornado warning over that way, up into southeastern Kentucky. Again, that is where the severe weather is happening now. Even south of this line of storms, a new line of storms with clusters of supercells is beginning to form and becoming severe. So where this line of storms kind of petered out, now we have a new line of storms forming out ahead of it Thankfully, this did not happen here. I'm very thankful this didn't happen here, because this could be a totally different night for us if this line of storms had weakened, let's say, more up in Kentucky, and we had these storms cells develop over our way. So very thankful for that. We are sandwiched in between all of this, and I'm not going to complain whatsoever about that. I am going to complain about the models getting it wrong as far as the intensity of these storms, but hey, I'm not going to complain that these storms underperformed. That's never a bad thing for us here. So again, we're soon going to be done with our severe weather threat. I know we have 4 counties still in our viewing area, still in the tornado watch. You will likely be removed very soon, maybe within the next hour. I think we'll be able to give you an all clear before then, though. We're just going to wait for this heavy storm activity to move out of Spencer and McMinnville. I think once we get to that point, I'll feel pretty confident in giving some all clears. Now, Smith County, Trousdale County, Macon County, we have a heavier cell beginning to pop back up this way. I don't think this has any chance of becoming severe. I'm not worried about it. But there is still some heavy rain with that, so we'll watch it as it moves south and east. But again, not worried about that becoming severe. Seeing some lightning begin to be detected with that as well. But again, not worried about it becoming severe at this point. Again, we've already given the all clear to these areas, and I'm sticking with that. It's only for our far southern areas where we still have that tornado watch in effect. But even there, the severe weather threat is waning. Again, the atmosphere is very worked over across our northern half at this point, so it would be, I mean, here's the thing. If these storms couldn't become severe, how in the world are these going to become severe? So we're not really worried about that up that way. Still some heavy rain, though, in Hartsville up into Lafayette, but again, not worried about that becoming severe. Again, still watching this activity in Warren and Van Buren counties, but again, right now, this is below severe limits, and at this point I would be surprised if this becomes severe based on what we can see right now. Looking at the Weather Service chat now, just seeing if it looks like they might be providing an update for the remainder of this morning. Again, a lot of counties have already been dropped from the tornado watch. I do think those northern areas we've already mentioned. Of course, we are maintaining the all clear. But again, I'll pass that along once they get that topped up. In the chat, I can see when they're topping, so someone actually asked a question about this event, so I'm curious to see their response for that. But again, right now, while we do have some heavier cells beginning to pop back up, I don't anticipate those becoming severe. I think our severe weather threat is pretty much ended, except for our far southern areas. White County, I'm giving y'all the all clear. So White County, you join the long list of counties I've given the all clear to. Cumberland County, I'm going to give the all clear to Cumberland County as well. I think the heaviest activity is now shifted east of you. So Cumberland County, you now have the all clear as well. You're still in the tornado watch, but you will be removed here soon. Right now, we're only watching Warren and Van Buren counties, mostly southern Warren County, south of McMinnville near Irving College, and most of Van Buren County, including Spencer and points east and south, all along Highway 111 down to the Sequatchie County line. Still a pretty intense storm, a lot of lightning with this, a lot of heavy rain and some wind. So we'll maintain our coverage for y'all until we can give y'all the all clear. Hopefully here pretty soon, maybe around 2:30 to 2:45, sometime in that window, I think we can give y'all the all clear as well. According to the Weather Service, severe potential for the remainder of tonight looks very low. So again, echoing pretty much what I've said. I mean, look, I won't say it's a 0% chance that pop-up activity like this will become severe, but it's like a 0.01% chance. So 99% certain, or greater than 99% certain, that we are through with any severe weather worries for our northern half. You can never 100% rule it out, unless there's like snow or something in winter time, maybe. But just because by the nature of living in Tennessee, we don't get the luxury of saying severe weather's fully ruled out, except only in certain situations, and this isn't one of those. But again, the areas we've given the all clear to, again, we feel pretty confident in that all clear. So, and of course, tornado watch has already been dropped for most of these areas too. Again, it's just our far southern areas, Warren and Van Buren counties at this point. And even for y'all, I think we're going to be able to give you the all clear maybe in the next 10 to 15 minutes. So we're just about to wrap up this coverage. Once we give the all clear, I will sign off. I need to quit. The coffee's good, but I got to quit drinking it though, because else I'm not going to be able to get to sleep tonight. I'm actually surprised I may actually get into bed sooner than I thought. So I'm very thankful for that. But again, here is your wide view of radar. We'll put this in motion. Going back over the last about 3 hours now. This goes back to 11 o'clock tonight. These storms came in a little sooner than we thought. We thought it would be after midnight for our northwestern areas. It ended up being during the 11 o'clock hour. And again, these storms have continued to progress south and east through our region as expected. But they have not been as intense as we expected, which is a wonderful thing and certainly not something we're going to complain about, because a lot of areas of the country here in the southeast, it's been a totally different story with multiple tornado reports, some pretty significant tornadoes across western Kentucky, I believe up into Indiana as well. I've seen some of the images coming out of those areas. The damage has been significant in some areas. Some very significant tornadoes, just your classic wedge-shaped top tornadoes. Very scary situation, unfortunate, and just sad. And certainly our prayers are with those folks who were impacted. But fortunately, we were in an environment that could have supported that, but it didn't happen here, and I couldn't be more thankful and blessed for that for us here. Certainly, as active as this May has been for us, we could use the break. So, again, not going to complain about it. The event underperforming at all, because again, it could have been a much different situation for us, and even a different situation unfolding around us right now, east of us and southwest of us. Again, totally different picture right now when you look at all the warnings in effect. All the yellows you see, those are severe thunderstorm warnings. The reds are tornado warnings, and none of that is here. And I am so very, very thankful for that here in the Upper Cumberland. And pretty soon, I'm going to be able to get some all clears here for Warren and Van Buren counties. Not ready to do it just yet. I want to give this about 5 to 10 more minutes. But I think at that point, I will feel pretty good about giving an all clear. Especially with the storm activity developing out ahead of this main line, I think will also help to cut off some more energy from this line of storms. It's not even really a line anymore. It's just a segment of clusters, disorganized. A lot of different words to describe it, but organized and intense is not necessarily appropriate anymore. Intense to some degree, but not nearly as strong as these storms were earlier on in their life. And again, a lot of y'all watching in different areas here, east of us, Pikeville, up into Harriman, perhaps some viewers over that area. Still storming pretty strong. I mean, we're not discounting that. Y'all may still have some gusty winds blowing through, heavy rain. It's just that what we're seeing on radar, we're not seeing these storms reach that severe threshold of 60 mile per hour winds or a large hail quarter size in diameter. We're not seeing that right now. But that doesn't take away from the fact these storms are still intense with a lot of heavy rain, a lot of lightning, and some wind. But they are manageable. Now, we may have some trees down, could have some sporadic power outages. In fact, let's go back to that power outage map and take a look at it and see if we've had any new outages. Of course, not everyone is tracked by this, but we can at least get a pretty good gauge on whether there's any reported power outages. And honestly, as I click on these different counties, really from the storms that have moved through this morning / overnight, I don't see any new outages. Now, there could be some that aren't tracked on here, so I'm not going to take away from that. But the only outages I'm seeing right now are the same outages we had from earlier, I guess now yesterday, from those storms across Fentress and especially Pickett County. A lot of people still without power. Nearly half the county, Pickett County, still without power right now, which is pretty significant. So all the more reason I'm very thankful these storms weren't any worse than they were, because one of the worst situations you can have is a situation where people are without power and can't receive updates during severe weather. But again, fortunately, that has not been an issue for us tonight. Are y'all ready for what I'm about to say? Let's go full screen. Let's go full screen for this. If you live in Warren County, if you live in Van Buren County, I'm giving you the all clear for severe weather potential. That means our entire viewing area, all 14 counties we serve, now have the all clear for the remainder of tonight. Now, there's still some strong storms moving across our southern half, but these are not severe. They are not going to become severe at this point. I'm giving the all clear to this activity. Again, only as far south as Warren and Van Buren counties and Cumberland counties. Now, anywhere south and east of there, you're out of our viewing area. Again, you'll have to consult with local media sources in those areas, as you're out of our viewing area and not covered by us. But for our immediate viewing area, the 14 counties we serve, Clay, Cumberland, DeKalb, Fentress, Jackson, Macon, Overton, Pickett, Putnam, Smith, Trousdale, Warren, Van Buren, and White counties, all of you have the all clear. Points West, Wilson, Sumner, Cannon, Rutherford, y'all have the all clear as well. I also can give an all clear to Morgan and Scott counties too. Now, farther south and east of that, I can't give an all clear, and you're also out of our viewing area too. But again, severe weather threat will be winding down here pretty soon. If you're in Pikeville, if you're in Harriman, Spring City, Dayton, these locations, just hang tight. Severe weather threat will be ending soon for y'all as well. This rain activity will be coming to an end over the next few hours. I'd say by daybreak, most of these showers should be over with. I mean, it's 2:30. We're already done with the severe weather threat. I can't believe it. I am in shock. I'm not going to say we're 100% done. I'm going to say we're 99% done. That 1%, that tricky 1%, we'll never fully rule it out. We just can't, because we're in Tennessee. That's just the way it works here. This is a 99% all clear again for our entire viewing area here in northeastern Middle Tennessee. Again, outside of our viewing area, again, consult with local media. I know the Knoxville TV market is all over this tornado warning up here, north of Morristown near Tazewell. So again, you'll have to consult with local media on that. But again, Knoxville TV market should be all over that. And again, our friends at Tennessee Valley Weather, they're all over this activity here in North Alabama, Southern Tennessee. So you can go consult with them too. They are live right now. You can see them on the screen behind me. So again, search for Tennessee Valley Weather for updates on those storms. But here in the Upper Cumberland specifically, we are done. Rain and showers still continuing to roll through. We may have some lightning here and there, some heavy showers still to roll through. But again, rest assured, we're not expecting any of this to become severe for the remainder of the night. Tornado watch has already been dropped for the majority of our area. Should be dropped for Cumberland, Van Buren, Warren, and White counties here soon. I know it's still active, but again, give it here maybe another 30 minutes or so, and the Weather Service should be dropping that watch for your counties as well. But again, I'm going to go ahead and give you the all clear, because I'm not seeing anything to suggest any additional severe worries will persist overnight. So again, all good news. Rain should be wrapping up around daybreak. And honestly, the way things are looking right now, we might be shaping up for a pretty decent Memorial Day. So you can proceed with your outdoor activities. Just keep an eye to the sky in case something pops up. But again, right now we're not expecting any severe weather worries. And just in general, probably limited or no storm development just in general. So all good news. And that's really all I have for now. I thank y'all for tuning in. I thank y'all for your continued support of what we do here. Again, I just wanted to provide a little extra peace of mind tonight. But at this point, with the severe weather threat over with, I'll make a post saying severe weather threat over with, and that's going to be it. Because again, we're done, and we all can sleep in peace at this point. And just all good news all around with this round of storms. Certainly no complaints from me, even if the models didn't really get this one right. But hey, I'm not going to complain about that at all versus what could have been. Please stay safe, y'all. Again, pretty good day ahead for us. So we'll get these showers out of here, and we'll have a pretty good Memorial Day and just a great week ahead in general. Sunny skies expected all throughout this week through Friday, and cooler than average temperatures in the 70s to around 80 most days, with lows in the 50s. So we have that to enjoy as well. A nice little break before summer really sets in June, and we're begging for low humidity, low heat type of days. But y'all stay safe, and God bless.